driven the price at the pump to an almost 4-year high.
Gas prices in the U.S. have reached their highest level since 2022. AAA says the national average for a gallon of regular gas is now $4.02. That's over $1 more than before the war began. The last time drivers were paying this much was nearly 4 years ago, following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Prices vary from state to state due to factors ranging from supply to differing tax rates. Some drivers have been paying more than $4 a gallon for some time. Analysts say the cost of groceries could increase as businesses' transportation costs increase. I'm Mike Hempen.
We are hearing from Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu this morning.
The Israeli leader told the U.S. TV company Newsmax that he didn't want to put a schedule on when the war with Iran was likely to end. But he said the war was definitely beyond the halfway point and that he believed Iran's Islamic Republic would eventually collapse internally. Earlier, Donald Trump threatened to obliterate Iran's power plants, oil wells, and possibly water desalination plants if a deal was not reached shortly. The White House has downplayed suggestions that Mr. Trump's implied threat to hit civilian infrastructure could amount to the U.S. committing war crimes.
The BBC's David Bamford. A Russian tanker carrying 730,000 barrels of oil is docked in Cuba, the first such shipment during the U.S. energy blockade on the island. Spice and flavorings company McCormick, combining with Unilever's foods division, it includes household names like Hellmann's and Knorr. It's a multi-billion-dollar deal. Ahead of this morning's opening bell on Wall Street, Dow futures up 522 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 264. More on these stories, townhall.com.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had a lot of credit card debt, and it stressed me out. But what I thought was a solution turned out to be a problem. I kept hearing ads about debt settlement that seemed too good to be true. And actually, it was. When I called, they told me to stop paying my bills. That didn't sound right to me at all, so I hung up. Later, I found out that debt settlement is bad, real bad. Then I learned that there is a right way to pay off your credit cards. It's called a debt management program from the great team at Trinity. Trinity had a plan. In the end, I paid off my bills, I saved thousands, and I even improved my credit score.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-990-6976.
The FBI says a man who crashed his pickup into a Michigan synagogue was inspired by a U.S. designated terrorist group.
Jennifer Runyon, head of the FBI in Detroit, says that Ayman Ghazali was inspired by Iranian-backed Hezbollah, and that Ghazali made videos before crashing his pickup truck into Temple, Israel in West Bloomfield, Michigan earlier this month, with one saying,
"God willing, I will kill as many of them as I possibly can."
Ghazali also called his ex-wife, who then called police in Dearborn to warn he was suicidal after losing family members in a military strike in Lebanon. Ghazali exchanged gunfire with a security guard at the synagogue before fatally shooting himself during the March 12th attack. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Authorities are investigating a shooting at a high school in Bulverde, Texas, near San Antonio. Police say a student shot and wounded a teacher before taking his own life yesterday morning. News and analysis, townhall.com. The Trump administration has followed through on a threat to sue the state of Minnesota for allowing transgender athletes to compete in girls' sports.
The Justice Department alleges in a lawsuit filed Monday that the State Department of Education and the Minnesota State High School League are violating Title IX. That's a federal law against sex discrimination in educational programs that receive federal money. The administration has filed similar lawsuits against Maine and California and threatened the federal funding of some universities, including San Jose State in California and the University of Pennsylvania. Bob Agnew reporting.
High-tech systems allowing drivers to take their hands off the wheel while traveling down the road will be scrutinized again by federal investigators. This in connection with two fatal crashes involving Ford's Blue Cruise system. The NTSB is expected to recommend ways to improve the partially automated driving systems. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What a wide, wide world of sports is going on here.
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The traveler said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio. Yeah!
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Yeah, buh.
It is, I'm not going to lie. My alarm hit hard this morning.
Say again?
Like my alarm?
Yeah.
Like I normally get up before my alarm. Today was not one of those days.
I'm going to posit an idea because I'm getting the same thing. Actually, I struggled through my alarm.
Yeah.
Now, granted, my phone died after my first alarm went off. So my second alarm didn't go off, and I woke up shortly after. I was like, what's going on? And he's dead. I've heard two separate reports now of people either not waking up with their alarm or just not wanting to wake up in general. I don't know if it was last night or if it's tonight, but there's a full moon.
Is there?
There was a real big moon coming. It was just barely coming through the clouds this morning.
Yeah.
I couldn't really see much of it here now, but yeah. So I think we're in that realm. Maybe that might be messing with people.
It was not easy getting up this morning. I was like, I do not like the alarm went off. I'm like, are you kidding me? No. And I was like, it's lying. Like I was like not believing it was time to get up. I'm just like, that's not right.
I know. I said the same thing when I looked at my clock before. I woke up before my alarm. I looked at my clock. I'm like, no. Well, better get to it.
Yeah. Well, and in all fairness, I woke up about 1 o'clock this morning having to go to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
the tales of old men.
Well, and it was like one of those deals like I woke up at 1 and for a good minute I'm like, is it really 1? I feel like it's a lot later, like it's 4 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Not like I felt like I had to get up soon.
Right.
Like I felt like I slept for hours, but I was like, I've only been asleep for a couple hours.
But
and I'm
doesn't
like,
that feel like a victory a little bit?
A little bit.
Like you look at the clock and it's like I woke up this morning. It was like 2:03 to go to the bathroom. I looked at my clock. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. But it was so weird to have that feeling at 1 in the morning, and then later on when I get up, I'm like, just not. You know, it was just. I usually don't wake. Usually I get up a few minutes before my alarm. I wake up. I'm like, oh, I got to get up, and then I'll go ahead and just get up. And that was not happening today. So.
It just did not. It did not transpire.
And I'm guessing during the time change, my wife's clock and my clock are slightly off.
Mm-hmm.
Because our alarm is set for the same time. But my alarm goes off like 2 minutes before hers does.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll, even when the alarm goes off, I'll get up and I'll go to the bathroom. And by the time I'm done that, her alarm goes off.
Right.
And so it's kind of, I'm just like, like how is it? And those are the things that drive me nuts.
Yeah.
Like when I'm like, the clocks are off. Like if I always look at the clock, I'm like, I know that's preliminary.
But is it a hand set clock?
It's
like now, you had to like set the time when you plugged it in.
Now mine you do.
Okay.
I don't know about hers. I think hers is a atomic. Yeah.
The thing is, you gotta go do that whole like sync your watches.
I know.
Or whatever. You have to sync up to each other's
I
time.
can live with it if it's close, but when it's like that far apart, it bugs me.
It is funny though, because when you said that your clock and her clock are slightly off, for some reason my mind went to biological clock. It's like, yeah, I wake up in the morning and all of a sudden, bam, she wants a baby.
And we're in our 70s.
It's not going to work, honey.
We're not in our 70s. But that,
yeah. The ship sailed.
Yep.
And another one coming this summer.
But
ship, it's a riverboat.
But yeah, so but once you get up, you'll be all right. So that was my moral. It just took me a minute to get going.
That's it. Nothing
Today was just a slow going. It was just the oars didn't want to hit the water this morning.
Sometimes you just gotta. Okay? There's a saying. It's like sometimes you have to screw yourself to the sticking place and carry on. Like.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, you never heard that one? I heard on Scrubs. It's like an old philosophical saying, but basically it's like sometimes you just have to set yourself in place, bear down, and get through it.
There you go.
Or as an orator from my time put it, nothing to it but to do it.
Yep. It's a pretty cool hat. I know it's your Sinclair from you did the remotes at Sinclair's hats, but
it's a genius.
It's kind of a cool hat. It's just a hat with a dinosaur on it.
Any merch that appeals,
strong.
It's a really good marketing campaign because I'm basically a Sinclair fanboy.
Yeah,
I didn't think about it. I fully walked into an All Slips this morning. I completely forgot about it. But this is a Sinclair near you.
And to be honest, it's subtle enough where it's not like the McDonald's logo where everybody knows it. You know what I mean? It's a Sinclair dinosaur.
It's just a dinosaur. I could just be a fan of archaeology.
It could be.
Yeah.
I wonder one day if you're just going to be sitting in random places and little kids are going to start hitting you with dinosaur questions.
What do you know about the Brontosaurus?
Yeah. Are you a Stegosaurus fan? I love the pterodactyl.
Let's talk Velociraptors. It's funny though because
now if I'm your boy, I want one of them hats.
Right? I might actually have to gift this to him. I don't think he's only seen it a handful of times.
Yeah, but I was the boy, I'd want that hat.
It's funny because before Jurassic Park came out, I mean the original in the mid 90s, there are certain words that entered the vocabulary because of that movie.
Yeah.
There wasn't a single kid my age that didn't know and regularly use the word velociraptor.
I got to be honest. Prior to Jurassic Park, I never heard of a velociraptor.
Right, exactly.
I don't even think it's a real dinosaur.
I think they added the velociraptor. I think the raptor is a. I don't know, but I don't know enough about dinosaurs.
I don't either. We just now all assume it's one.
I have to ask my son.
Yeah.
Let me ask an expert.
But I feel like, back when that movie came out, I was like, there's no such thing as because I was, not that I was an expert on dinosaurs, but I knew the big ones, and there was no velociraptor in that class. There was the T-Rex and the Stegosaurus. And
I'll tell you though, of all the stuff I've been getting to put into my bug out bag, the one thing I have not yet obtained, a clear glass of water.
Clear glass of water.
So that I know that they're approaching.
Well, then you need to put a dashboard in there to put the glass of water on.
Or just a flat surface.
Yeah.
You just need a
charcuterie board.
It's
perhaps.
like MRE instructions. I just need a rock or something.
Or something. Yes. Oh, man. Well, I'll probably get the hour going. We're going to replay an interview this hour next. Our Elliot Rodriguez interview we had earlier in the month. It's still March, right? Yeah, it's still March for one more day. One more day.
I was very thankful that March had 31 days yesterday.
Well, tomorrow is April Fool's Day. Be on your toes.
Yeah.
There's going to be some people trying that stuff.
Head on a swivel.
That's right.
Don't believe anything you read on Twitter.
That's right.
You know what? That's a good rule of thumb just in general.
Right. Like if they announce any new establishments in town tomorrow, odds are they're probably going to be April Fool's related. So sorry, Hooters. Sorry,
now, if
Olive Garden, whatever else they keep saying.
If you announce your establishment at 11:59 and 59 seconds, you better follow through.
That's true.
I'm talking about tonight,
yes.
right? Or 12 o'clock and 1 second.
There you go. So
follow through.
But yes, so all I'm saying is be on the lookout. Bolo tomorrow on April Fool's. So we're gonna play our interview with Elliot Rodriguez. How that was related to, I don't know idea. But anyway,
look at your bolo.
Yeah,
bolo.
I gotta whip her out tomorrow.
That's right.
And then the 8 o'clock hour, we're going to replay our interview with Hunter Spintle from the District Attorney's Office. In the 9 o'clock hour, we're going to have Pastor Troy Smotherman join us from Church on the Move. It is Easter weekend.
Yes.
Good Friday and Easter. So he's going to join us and talk all about the Easter festivities happening at Church on the Move this week. So
I always think that one of my favorite stand-up bits is the Robin Williams live on Broadway, when he talks about how we went from Jesus Christ's death and resurrection to chocolate bunnies colored eggs. He's like, you have to soften it for kids. You couldn't just go spread raspberry jam on the lawn and be like, we're looking for Jesus, kids.
Although times like these do remind me. Can't we have a Cadbury egg, a seasonal, all year-round Cadbury egg?
Cadbury needs to wake up and look at what Reese's is doing.
Yeah.
You can make your product in different shapes.
Yeah.
Come Halloween, how come we don't have Cadbury cream pumpkins?
I'm telling you, I would love one of those.
Then again, is the cream itself a seasonal thing? Like
maybe.
Could you put an egg cream with the white and the yellow inside of a bat? It'd be weird, right?
I'm still down.
Maybe there's somebody at corporate that was like, we need to rethink these shapes.
Well, maybe they can make them different colors. Maybe the cream can be orange for Halloween.
And sure, maybe they need a new extruder.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the process would be. To me, I've always thought it's basically like a Play-Doh Fun Factory. You just unscrew the one front, screw on the other front, and then keep pumping.
Surely these Brits can come up with a different shape.
You know what? I'll get with my people at Cadbury and I'll see what I can do
get
for you.
the Cadbury creators. What do they call their people? I know the Lynn Master Chocolatiers. What are the Cadbury
I like
chocolate
to
people
assume
called?
that they call them their people peeps. I know it's not because I know it's a different company, but which, by the way, the company that makes Peeps is called Just Born. I don't know of any other candy that they make besides Peeps. I'm sure they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a very odd name for a company, Just Born.
I feel like it's a boring candy factory. You go to other candy factories, we got M&M's over here and this over here, and they're like, I always got Peeps.
Yeah, but how exciting is a vat of marshmallow fluff? That's, to me, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, but when there's nuts and caramel and so many other things going around.
We haven't even gotten into the world of nougat.
That's right.
We don't have time this morning.
Right over here
nougat.
we got marshmallow, and they're like, well, we got pink, we got green, we got yellow.
That's the next part, the coloring stations, because they're just throwing that stuff everywhere. You're getting colored sugar crystals in your esophagus.
I'm sorry, they need a nougat or a Retsin machine. For
Retsin. Oh, now we're bringing Retsin into the game.
All right, it is 7:17. Let's get you up to date on the weather. Spoiler alert, gonna be warm.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Close to 90 on the afternoon high today. We'll have sunshine, maybe a few clouds. Overnight turning cloudy. We have cold front set to drop through. We'll be in the mid-50s. We do have a slight chance of a shower or two on Wednesday. Gusty wind around 40 miles an hour, and it will be slightly cooler. Our high in the low 80s. And then for Thursday, back to sunshine, mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
I was trying to refresh the weather to get it fresh, but it's not quite as freshy as I would like it. But all right. Currently 58 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 36% with winds out of the northwest at 3 miles per hour. For today, we are looking at mostly sunny skies and a high of 90. Winds will be out of the northwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 55 degrees. West winds 5 to 10. For Wednesday, going to be windy and a little cooler. Matter of fact, they've issued a fire weather watch for April 1st tomorrow. It's not a joke. It's real from 11 until 8 p.m. tomorrow. They're talking mostly cloudy with a high of 82. Windy tomorrow. South winds 5 to 15 early, increasing 20 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 47. Winds will remain up out of the west. 15 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour, dropping down 5 to 15 miles per hour after midnight. Thursday, sunny, 85 for a high, winds out of the west 5 to 15. Friday, mostly sunny and 86, and then cooling down again for the weekend. Sunny and 70 on Saturday. There is a 20% chance of rain Sunday with a high of 70, and then sunny and 72 Monday of next week here. So Warm and windy, and then a little cooler for the weekend is what it's looking like. 7:19. Let's take a quick commercial break. We'll get your Roswell Livestock Report recap of Smiley Wooten there as well, and then we'll play our interview with Elliot Rodriguez from Lone Depot. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Artesia General Hospital presents your Spring Health Checklist. Spring is here, and it's time to shake off winter and refresh your wellness routine. Tip 1, manage allergies. Check daily pollen levels and shower after spending time outdoors to keep allergens from lingering. Tip 2, clean smarter. Spring cleaning improves air quality. Replace air filters and dust surfaces to reduce irritants in your home. Tip 3, fuel your body with seasonal foods. Fresh fruits and vegetables provide vitamins to your immune system needs. And tip 4, schedule your annual physical. Preventive care keeps you strong and active all year long. Healthy habits this spring means more energy for everything you love. Brought to you by Artesia General Hospital. Ready to help take care of you and your family.
What does it mean for a roofing contractor to have heart? How about braving a 24-hour road trip with a bad back and a 20-foot-long trailer through Interstate 40? You heard that right. A local business needed a new roof, but this business did not want just any roof. They desired a schoolhouse roof with red shingles. Well, we wanted to give our customers exactly what they were asking for. The only problem was that the red color of shingle they were looking for had been discontinued in our local region. But we didn't give up then. We were told by our supplier that the schoolhouse red color of shingle that we were looking for was still available in Arkansas. So we did what was expected of us and drove 24 hours, and we delivered on our promise. If you need a roofer who delivers on their promises, call Trustmark Roofing today at 575-755-7663.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first. Spring has moved in at the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop. Discover beautiful spring fabrics plus top-notch sewing machines. We're your certified dealer and repair station for Handy Quilter long arm and Brother sewing machines, and scissor sharpening is available. Join our beginning embroidery and quilting classes. Log on to RoswellQuilting.com to shop online today and follow the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop on Facebook. Want to know how? Come to the Cow. The Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop, 200 East College in Roswell.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 871 head of cattle sold on Monday on a steady to higher market with excellent buyer attendance. Compared to last week, stocker calves sold steady to 20 higher, feeder cattle steady to 5 higher, packer cows and bulls steady to $3 higher, 3 to 400 pound steers $565, $640, 3 to 400 pound heifers $495, $580, 4 to 500 pound steers $520, $565, 4 to 500 pound heifers $440, $495. 5 to 600 pound steers, $440, $520. 5 to 600 pound heifers, $377, $440. 6 to 700 pound steers, $387 to $440. 6 700 pound heifers, $357, $377. 7 to 800 pound steers, $333 to $387. 7 to 800 pound heifers, $3, $357. Packer cows, $168, $182. Canner and cutter cows, $160, $163. Packer bulls $2 to $220. Feeder bulls $178, $184. The cow-calf pairs not well tested this week. In the top half, the bred cows $3,500 to $4,100 per head. The market is good, so gather some cattle and give us a call. Next week's sale will be on Tuesday in observance of Easter Sunday. It's already shaping up to be a good one. We do appreciate the business, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell
Playing
Livestock
dance music can help ward off mosquitoes. Now you have a reason to invite Pitbull to your next pool party. Here's Mike Winters.
This morning from Lone Depot, Elliot Rodriguez back with us. Good morning, Elliot.
Good morning, Roswell.
How's your world this morning?
It's interesting. You know, I was just telling her, like, kind of tired, but exciting, energetic at the same time. So, and it's beautiful outside.
Sure. Well, I imagine this is a busy time of year.
It is.
I would guess. I mean, sure, interest rates and all that definitely have something to do with people buying and selling homes.
Correct.
But when the weather's nice, people like to go look. People like to go out and dream a little bit. And generally speaking, sometimes they pull the trigger. They find the perfect house and they say, you know what? So I'm going to say, as the weather gets nicer, so does probably
exciting
real
times.
estate agents' dance cards get a little busier too.
It's exciting times. Houses are being blown up on the other side of the country.
Yeah.
Some are being built over here. So
sure. Yeah, there's a lot of new construction.
A lot of new construction.
So
folks, keep an eye on the stuff that's happening out there. Talk to your agent. Get pre-approved first, obviously.
Sure.
Okay. So, and that way you know what you're shopping for.
Well, and that's what, I usually, when I kind of start these interviews here, Elliot is the guy you see before you talk to the real estate agent.
Correct.
When that way, and trust me, the real estate agent will be much more thankful that you talk to someone like Elliot first, because that way now they know exactly what they're dealing with. And so you go into Elliot, that way it keeps you from overselling yourself, because, you'd be like, I just found my home of my dreams. It's $500,000. Oh, you're only approved for $250,000. So
I know. Then I have to cut it in half.
Yeah. So that's where you come and visit Elliot first. Elliot say, okay, and then Elliot will give you the straight skinny on that. He'd be like, look, I can get you approved for $300,000, but you've got other bills to pay. You've got everything. Ideally, to keep you from stretching yourself too thin, you need to be looking at a house around $225, or something like that.
Yeah, you need to be realistic of what you can afford.
Sure.
Okay. I mean, I understand. We all want the best things. I mean, I have a good example. I have a guy in Carlsbad right now that the poor guy just keep going too high, and he keeps saying, but I don't want to keep the payments under $3,000.
Yeah.
And I tell him, this. He asked me, what about the first time home buying progress and this and that? It's like, brother, that's what I'm doing for you.
Right. We're already there. This is after all that.
Don't get discouraged. Just relax. Don't rush.
Sure.
See, this is the problem with a lot of people. Okay. I send them an email, tell them to pre-approve. I need you to give me all this stuff. And they totally forget about me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And go shopping. They're like, give me the stuff I need. Because what if you tell me that you made $2,200 and in reality you make $25,000 or $3,000,
right?
Because you're not counting numbers correctly. Okay, folks, it's very incredible. A lot of people out there don't really know what they're making.
Sure, ballpark.
They just have an idea, but that's it.
Sure. Yeah.
There is no way, even today, that I just let my employer just pay me and I don't double check what I get paid. I need to know what I'm getting paid.
Sure.
Okay. And I'm the first one that you will hear. I'm not doing this for money anymore. Okay. I'm not greedy with money. I'm all about taking care of customers. So it's a totally different perspective. But at the same time, I still have to look that I actually got paid.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I think everybody should know what they get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because a lot of people don't. It's very interesting. I don't know how people can do that, but they do. But no, get pre-approved as soon as possible, and that way you know what you can afford.
Well, and generally these are this is and to be honest, this is where sometimes home ownership does that start your life to adulting a little bit.
Yeah, kind of. It's like you graduate into life.
Sure. And so you're like, okay, now this is why they talk about planning a budget. Usually I look at my phone and I'm like, I got $600 in my bank account. I'm good to go buy dinner tonight or whatever.
And the part that's really, really interesting is I tell the guys, like, it's okay, bud. Don't get discouraged. What he wants is too high.
Sure.
Okay. And I get it. We all want the best. There's nothing wrong with that.
Sure.
Okay. But we still need to bring ourselves back to reality, what we can afford. So I can tell he was like throwing the towel.
Sure.
And I say, you know what, bud? It's okay. In this business, I always tell people, don't be rushing on the house that you want to go for. Obviously, if you find the one you want, obviously you're going to go for it. But what I'm saying is, do not rush, because guess what? I will say 9 out of 10 times, everybody that buys a house tell me, oh, another one that I actually like better just came up,
There's always
and I'm already on contract.
Absolutely.
So don't rush, but I get it. Keep an eye on what you want.
And remember too that especially unless you're building new, the house you're buying is not gonna be exactly, unless you bought it from your twin or something. You know what I mean? The color scheme's gonna be different, or the layout's gonna be, or the kitchen's a little outdated or something.
It could be your first home.
Sure.
Okay. So don't overdo it. Now, if you find the forever home and it happens to be it, God bless.
And to be honest, and then you can talk like you say, hey, like you said, we can do a home improvement loan and say, okay, so the kitchen is dated. All right, well, we'll get a loan in there. And now all of a sudden you update that kitchen, say, I don't know, $15,000 to update a kitchen. I'm just throwing a number out.
Yeah,
I know that's probably lowballing
it is what it is.
But what I'm saying is that will, you throw that in there, that will add value to the home, and then again, so it's reinvestment back. But again, but then all of a sudden now you've got the marble or the quartz or whatever your countertop of choice is. I got the double oven finally, or whatever it is you're trying to do. That way you can kind of do all that kind of stuff, and people do that all the time at all buying levels. Even if it's your first home, people do it. I'm telling you, my in-laws and they're retirees. They're not bazillionaires, but they're very well off.
And they're able to go and get the one they wanted.
But they're still buying $600,000-$700,000 homes and then remodeling the kitchen, remodeling the.
So what Mike is saying here is there's in some level there's no such a thing as the perfect home.
Exactly.
Guys. Okay. Now you want to not compromise. You want try to get as many as possible.
Sure.
But there's no such a thing. And remember, even a brand new home, when they do the home inspection, you may get a little scared.
Sure.
Because they'll give you a list. It's like, what is all this? This is new. All right, but because it's new, this is the one true chance that you have to tell the builder, fix that.
Well, yeah, you got to break in the house. It's a new house. Things happen. Now, it's not as big an issue here as it is back east or back in this area.
Imagine in the East Coast.
Like houses settling.
Oh, my God.
Like half of where I grew up is built on swampland. So, like the mall, they built this mall. They spent 3 years filling dirt in that mall. They built the mall. 6 months later, that thing sunk a half inch.
Well, so we have that in here in Roswell a little, but it's not that crazy.
Sure.
I'm from the East Coast, so when you have all these, big, humongous homes, okay, and guys, they have big houses here. They have nothing on the houses on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Okay. You got all those big, humongous houses that have those big pillets.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
Oh, my God. And you will see the house just a little sideways.
Right.
Because, it's settled.
Sure.
Okay. But the fact is, it's not moving anymore. It's done.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
But the thing is, it's sideways just slightly.
Just a little bit.
And that's just the way it is out there. It's very, and remember out there, they got basements and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
We don't even have that here. I mean, not many basements.
Well, like when I never heard of a swamp cooler till I moved out here. But I say things like a sump pump, and people are like, what's a sump pump? It's like, it's literally, our house has crawl spaces.
Correct.
And because we built on, like we said, swampland, like water will get up under the house. This pump is there to pump the water out of the house.
Because you don't want that water to keep settling.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you almost up with your foundation. Yeah. But you know what? Don't be afraid, folks. Okay? Whatever's happening in the market, whatever's happening with the war and everything, the market got a little better today. But I saw what they did. They took a lot away. So we made some good gain for the past 6 months plus. Okay, and literally in 1.5 weeks, it was all took away, and it went to the negative. But they opened at a better number today. But they opened at the market. They opened actually at a higher level. So what does that mean? It's almost like trying to make us feel good. But they didn't give us enough back.
Gotcha.
So, but it looks like it's going to go back to the positive. So hopefully to the train today, maybe we get, some gain for what we lost.
Sure.
Because I do have about 3 or 4 deals that I need to lock. But the thing is this, don't let that stuff scare you. Your lender should be able to advise you properly, to do those things, And the fact of the matter is, that everything is still going on. I mean, it's so crazy. I literally work all weekend, okay? Not so much. Saturdays is like the day for my wife.
Sure.
And I still have to apologize there in front of the whole entire town. Okay, I'm apologizing because I worked yesterday and she wasn't very happy.
She cut into this Saturday.
She's like not too happy with Elliot yesterday.
She gets 1 day a week. And I get it.
But no, I mean, we're taking care of a lot of people and a lot of stuff is happening.
Sure.
And the market's still going to go the right direction. The president was trying to, open up the reserves just to control what's happening with the war. There's a lot of, data and things that are going back and forth stating that that's not going to happen or that's, gonna still, matter or not. Okay, but we'll have to see. You know, the fact of the matter is, we're in the middle of that nonsense that's happening, and after that comes out and it's finished, we're not gonna see, like a big positive. I think they're gonna control it.
Gotcha.
Okay? And I believe the Fed's supposed to meet on the 27th of this month, I believe.
Okay.
So, that doesn't trigger to us as mortgage, like to drop in a big way, but it will control how it's going. And hopefully we can see, some positive, movement. But, yeah, it started better today, but it's almost like it's like on shift, on like wolf clothing.
Right. Right.
Because it didn't start really good.
Right.
Because I double checked, some of my deals and what it was costing before, and when it went like to the negative and it got positive, and the positive didn't went too high, so it's like, like didn't go where it's supposed to. But no, folks, if you're in the market, to look for homes, okay, or you been getting kicked out of the house, or you're ready to move out, or wherever you're staying, or you're renting.
Sure.
Do not be afraid of buying a home. Whatever's happening in the market, Mike and I talked about this for years.
Absolutely.
It's whatever you can afford. Don't worry about what the market is doing, okay?
You need a house, you need a house.
Yeah, you need a house, you need a house. When the market gets better, you're at a better position, okay?
You can refinance or find the house that was more suitable to your needs.
And remember, I got the programs. I got the, New Mexico housing, okay?
Yeah. A lot of first-time buyer programs.
I got programs to help people repeating business that maybe you're a little short on money. It's okay. We still have the money to help you. Okay, we got Access Zero. This is, our own, product that we have at Loan Depot, and that will give you money to be able to do for the down payment. So do not be afraid of that stuff. Okay.
Even home improvement loans. Maybe you're like, hey, I want to sell the house.
We were talking about that.
I need to upgrade the kitchen first before I do to really get my value out of it.
If you see a house that you really want, let's say you're down the street, my mom lives down the street, that house down the corner where my old girlfriend used to live or whatever, they move, it needs a little work. Hey, I can help you fix it, guys, okay? We can give you the money to fix your home. That is called, for those people that have never heard it, 203K renovation purchase. You could also do a 203K renovation refi, okay? For investment purposes, or for your own home.
Okay, so if you want to do your personal, or if you got rental property.
Yeah, if you have rental problem, as long as it's a single family home, we can give you money to fix it.
Okay, what about like a townhouse or
townhomes and all that stuff is still fine. Okay?
Gotcha. Okay.
When it comes really cool, let me give you a pebble of hope for those people out there that would like to do some real investment, but they don't know when to start and how to do it. Look. If you can find yourself a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex, as long as you're going to live in it, folks, you could buy one and it'll pay itself and you don't even have to pay for it, okay? Because the unit next to you is paying your house. That is the way to start, okay? If you want to go out there and if you have ideas that you want to be able to invest and, you got some dreams and don't be afraid of it.
Sure.
Come and talk to me, and I'll tell you what to do.
And to be honest, that way, you're since you live on property too, you keep an eye on the property.
Exactly.
Therefore, repairs. Yes, you might get a knock at 2 a.m. because the washer's going out or something. But you're there and you can see the property.
But if we put the rules in place correctly, you don't have to worry about that
if
anyway.
You pick the right tenants and do the right things.
But folks, as crazy as that is, okay, that could go conventional FHA. Okay, if you're a first-time home buyer, you could do a down payment of 3%. Okay, and you could actually buy a home. If you go FHA, it's 3.5% down, folks. So it's not difficult. Okay, so if you have the right, idea to try to go and try this thing, don't be afraid of it. You just need the information.
Well, I mean,
and I can even give you the money. Let me tell you something. If you qualify, this is even crazier. Okay, you could buy a duplex, triplex, even a fourplex. I can give you the money for the down payment. As crazy as that sounds, folks. Okay. Now, depending on how many units, that changes the down payment. So I cannot give you everything.
Right.
But I can give you a lot of it. Okay. So don't be afraid. But the fact of the matter is, start with a unit that like maybe a duplex.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I think hindsight's 20/20 for me, my own self. Like I think when I got out of the Air Force, that would have been my time where I would said, you know what, use my VA loan first time and do that. And maybe with my wife, and we live in one of those.
Imagine if you and I would have known all that stuff.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if I would have done that now, I'd probably, be pretty well off here and just doing this to just.
I remember my wife and I buying a duplex here.
Yeah.
Okay, that was probably probably the third unit that I bought here.
Yeah.
We stayed in one side.
Yeah.
For a while.
That would have been what I've done.
It's the craziest thing.
I would have bought, like I said, a fourplex or whatever, and I would have lived in one with my wife, and we would have, rented out the other three, and that would have been probably my main income until I was figuring out what I wanted to do next, kind of.
And there's a lot of stuff happening, folks. Don't be afraid of asking. Okay, but the very first thing you should do is really get pre-approved.
Sure.
Okay, so.
Well, that's the first thing you need to do.
Because you need to know what you can afford.
Yeah, if without that question answered, you're either under or overselling yourself.
And I got folks in my office. My guys are so ready to go and kick some butt.
Sure.
Okay, I just hire my old assistant that I had before.
Okay,
which is good. Okay. So she's a loan officer now. All right. That's like powerhouse right there, folks.
A lot of experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she knows me. She knows what we need.
Sure.
She knows the process. Okay. That's how my guy Luis is pretty good because he used to be an assistant as well before.
Okay.
So he allows people to do that stuff right.
Sure.
I just hire my guy Phil. You're gonna kill me that I call him Phil. So I call him Dr. Phil. How you doing today? No, so I just hired Phil, and he's joining my team. So we just hired 2 new people this past month right now.
Awesome.
Okay, so we just continue growing, and we're gonna go and and help people out there.
Sure.
And Phil is ready, folks. I had in many years I've been doing this. I haven't seen somebody that's so excited to do this, and I love it. I think it's awesome.
Like you said, you're bringing a mix of experience. You get the youth and experience there. And so with that experience, too, it kind of serves as a two-headed monster for you, whereas, you turn over rocks, but maybe, some of your other folks are like, well, yeah, what about these rocks? And, between all of you there's all the rocks are covered. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he texted me last night, hey, Elliot, I got a prospect, I went to an open house and I'm trying to help this guy buy a house. Like, okay, let's find a way to get it done.
Sure.
I love it because he went to an open house, and we do this all the time. Okay. Folks, you want the real people to take care of you. Let me tell you something. All right. It's not just Loan Depot, but Loan Depot is the reason that I went to Loan Depot is for the things that I can do for you folks out there.
Right.
Okay. So a mix of goodwill with the power of a company that gives you everything you need to be able to do what you need to do. Nobody can stop what we can do for them.
Absolutely. That is...
And I got now somebody that is willing to go and do what I do.
Absolutely.
As well. I mean, I think Phil is going to be powerful. I think he's going to go and kick some butt. Okay? And I love it because... like you and I were talking about, I'm getting old. It's time.
Sure, absolutely. You're at some point you're going to be saying, I'd like to spend less days in the office.
Exactly.
I don't want to be there 6 days a week. I maybe only want to be there 5 days a week, or dare I say 4 days a week.
No, but you know what, folks, you want to go to a place that take care of you.
Yeah,
that doesn't look at you like you're a number only. Okay.
Absolutely.
And the reason I say only because we still do need to look at numbers.
Well, it's the best of both worlds.
No, I know, but I'm just trying to make a joke inside of reality.
Sure.
But no, go to a place that actually care about taking care of you, that we're going to uncover every stone, okay? We quick. We probably quicker than anybody in town right now, okay? And there's nobody that can stop us do what we need to do because if I tell you pre-approve, folks. Okay, let me tell you something. One of the things that I have worked very hard all this year is to make sure that what I do, I deliver. Okay, so nobody in this town has more, factual, strong reality that we deliver every deal we close.
Sure.
Than Loan Depot. Okay, and I can say that without no hesitation whatsoever because this is what we do.
Absolutely,
okay?
And this is something that again I think also separates you from other institutions is if you don't get pre-approved, he'll say, okay, here's the roadmap to get pre-approved.
Exactly.
You fix this, come back in 3 months and see me, you're going to get pre-approved.
You know how many people, I got tons and tons of people that I'm telling them, do this, do that. Okay. Folks, and I say this to every single one of my customers. Okay. if you do everything that I tell you to do, as long as I'm not telling you to do something stupid or break the law, okay, I will guarantee you, give you my word, that I will help you, deliver a home to you, okay? Now, a lot of people's like, how can you say that? In this business, you can guarantee nothing. That's true. I'm saying I will do everything in my powers to make sure that you get what you want.
Absolutely.
Which is a big difference, folks.
Well,
okay?
and at the end of the day, you hear the sayings, you lead a horse to water, can't make him drink. He's giving you the roadmap. He's giving you the step-by-step instructions on how to do it. What you have to do is do that. When he says, cut this ridiculous spending out of your budget, you got to do that. Or let's consolidate this or pay this debt off first. And then once that's paid off, then your numbers go up and everything starts jiving. Whatever that might be, you do that. And next thing you know, you're sitting in his office signing closing paperwork. And that's,
I know. Let me tell you something. The most exciting things that I ever seen is people signing papers. I think it's the coolest thing ever. Okay. And I just want to say to all of my past clients and partners, thank you for allowing me to be part of that, event in your life, because it's the coolest thing ever. Okay. And I was talking with somebody not too long ago, and I was like, well, if somebody's going to help them this and that, why not me? Why not my team?
Right.
Because I'm teaching my team to care, to do the right thing for people, and to take care of it. That we uncover every stunt to try to take care of every single customer.
Yeah.
No, I almost wanted to sound like Obama. Nobody left behind, folks. But the point is, we want to make sure that people understand that there's a real team in town.
Sure.
Okay. So Team Roswell for Loan Depot, folks, we will take care of you. Okay. We will make sure that you get a home.
Sure.
All right. We don't care how big or small the loan is. We're gonna take care of it just like you're $1 million customer.
Whether you're a whale or a first-time fish, or new fish in the pond. Yeah,
and that's very important, folks. I haven't never really talked too much about that before. Maybe once in a while I mention it, but it's time to start letting people know you need to go where people really actually take care of you and care about you.
Absolutely,
seriously, because Mike, let's be honest. There's some competitors, some care. Okay, I'm not gonna say who doesn't and who does, but a lot of them seem to be that they're not really in the same picture of what I deliver here.
Well, if let's put it this way: if they can do this, if they have to do the same amount of legwork, but one client's basically a $1 million account and the other client's a $1,000 account, they're going to put more time and energy in there. Where you're saying, look, I don't care if it's $1,000 account, $1 million account, or a $100,000 account. You get the same professional treatment, the same advantages that any other would. Just because
same dignity.
Yeah, just because you're buying a Cadillac versus an Escort, whatever that is, it doesn't matter. We're going to make sure that you get the best buying experience with that product.
And folks, we don't have any other agenda but to help you.
Sure.
Deliver a home to you.
And the idea is to say, okay, you're buying an Escort now, but now we're going to get you in a Lincoln, and then we're going to get you in a Ferrari or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
And imagine you get to keep the Escort still.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're renting out the Escort to someone else.
You know how many times I love to tell customers this is like, that might not be your forever home, but you know what? In certain way, depending on how you're going to use it, it may still be.
Sure.
It could be a long time. Investment property for yourself.
Absolutely.
Because, folks, the best thing you can ever do, let's just say you buy a house and the payments are, I don't know, $8,000 to $1,000. And that home could be rented for $1,200, $1,300, $1,500, maybe even more. Okay. And a little time passes, a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you have a little money saved up that you're okay to go to buy your next home and increase and, upgrade, if you may. So when you upgrade, okay, and you don't want to get rid of the property you have, now you could rent that one for $1,500.
Absolutely.
Or something, and now you're getting $500 for that for the new home that you're getting.
Absolutely.
Folks, I done it, okay? I done it. I mean, this is not something that I preach that I never did.
Not to mention once you pay that all off, and then if you do decide to sell at some point, all equity.
And I help a bunch of customers do that all the time. You know, it's a crazy.
Then you got to start worrying about capital gains taxes and stuff. And you're like, what? You get an accountant.
Folks, let me tell you something. If you're to worry about taxes, you're thinking the wrong way. The fact of the matter is, when you're paying more taxes means what? You're making more what?
Sure.
You're making more money.
I'll say these are good problems to have.
That's a good problem. Okay.
But, once you start, selling houses or clear profit, then you're like, oh, I got to pay capital gains tax now.
The fun thing that I see when somebody has like 10, 15 houses and this and that, and they report this and they report that, and they want to do more, it's like, you have to either be part of the system or not.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
But if you're doing the right thing and you're actually paying more taxes, it means you're making more money too. So that is a good spot to be at.
Absolutely,
in my opinion.
Yeah, it's the cost of doing business.
And folks, I got my guys. I got Kelly. I got Luis. I got Phil. I got Carrie that just joined me as well. Okay, and I got some folks in Albuquerque. As well.
Sure. What is because I know. You guys pretty much cover most of southeast New Mexico out of this office, right?
So I cover the whole state.
Gotcha.
In a sense. But I'm concentrating in this area because this is where I live.
Gotcha.
This is my background.
Well, I didn't know, is Albuquerque the closest Lone Depot office outside of Roswell?
That is the closest Lone Depot office outside us.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious.
We take care of everything. My guys, they got their license in different states.
Gotcha.
So if you have a brother and a sister that is buying a house somewhere else, just let us know. We'll
I just didn't know if there was if you wanted to walk into an office and talk to somebody like Roswell, Albuquerque.
Yeah, Roswell and Albuquerque is the only two places.
Only two. Okay, that's what I was curious
and my
about.
Assistant is actually in Albuquerque.
There you go.
I'm about to try to get me a new assistant over here. So it's time to step it up to the next level.
Anyway, hey, apply within. But we're almost out of time here. But if you are interested, please call his office, set up a time, come down and let's talk and let's see what we can do for you. You can call him direct on his cell, 719-237-4680. Please leave a voicemail if you don't get Elliot live. He
please.
Might be in a meeting or dealing with a client. You can call the office direct as well. As long as it's during business hours, you'll probably get a live person there. 505-445-2070. I know it's a 505 number, but it is for the Roswell office here. 505-445-2070. You can also stop by the office, 204 West 2nd, Suite 5, right here, not stone's throw from the police station.
Across the street from the police station parking lot.
Yeah, right there. And then, of course, you can go online and check Elliot out as well. He's got his own website through Lone Depot. If you go to lonedepot.com/Elliot Rodriguez, Elliot spelled with one L, Rodriguez with a Z at the end. And so lonedepot.com/Elliot Rodriguez. There you can go directly to his direct website page through Lone Depot. You can also shoot him emails as well. It's Elliot Rodriguez, same spelling, Elliot with one L, Z at the end on the Rodriguez, at lonedepot.com.
Correct.
And you'll get there. But if you don't remember all that, call him direct, 719-237-4680, or the office here, 505-445-2070. And like I said, if Elliot isn't working with you,
SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. No relief yet from skyrocketing gas prices, topping $4 a gallon for the first time since 2022. AAA has the national average for a gallon of regular at just over $4. That's up $1 in a month. The U.S. has hit a central Iranian city, sending a massive fireball high into the sky. And Tehran struck a fully loaded Kuwaiti oil tanker in the Persian Gulf as the Iran war rolls on. There may be no relief yet from sky-high gas prices, but there is relief for travelers at airports. Security lines are getting shorter now that President Trump has intervened, making sure that TSA officers are getting paid. Congress has not taken any action. Lawmakers currently on a 2-week holiday break. The opening bell sounding on Wall Street, stocks starting off higher. This is SRN News.
The big fear with AI, the one that keeps scientists up at night, is that AI will develop its own rules, ignore human commands, and do what it decides is best. Well, ready or not, it's happening. I'm Kim Commando for ExpressVPN. When you're online, you're tracked. Keep your activity private and secure. Right now, get 4 extra months at expressvpn.com/Kim. Between last October 1st and today, the end of March, there's been a documented 5-fold increase in what computer scientists call serious AI misbehavior. That's outright lying, disregarding direct instructions, and deceiving humans and even other AI chatbots, not simple mistakes. Some models destroyed emails critical of the AI. One human specifically instructed the AI to not send files and data. Well, the AI actually argued that the files should be made public, so it created another AI agent to send the files. This is no longer the stuff of science fiction. Get my free newsletter at getkim.com. You're being watched. Seriously, every time you go online, your internet provider is tracking your every move. Here in the U.S., they actually sell your browsing history. Until that changes, you need to protect yourself. That's why I use ExpressVPN. It's an easy-to-use app that encrypts your connection and reroutes all your internet traffic through secure servers, so your online activity stays private. With ExpressVPN, your internet provider can't see your browsing history. It hides your IP address. That's the number that identifies you online, so you can't be tracked. And with servers in over 100 countries, you can appear virtually anywhere. It's so simple to use. Click one button and you're protected. Plus, ExpressVPN has apps for everything. Phones, laptops, desktops, and tablets, so you stay private anywhere you connect. Take your online privacy seriously like I do with ExpressVPN. Get up to 4 extra months of ExpressVPN at expressvpn.com/Kim. That's expressvpn.com/Kim. Go now. expressvpn.com/Kim.
It's time for the Chaffetz County Sports Report. You got some softball action going on tonight. The Roswell Coyotes at home against Lovington. That starts at 7 o'clock. Roswell is 4-7, but they've won 4 of their last 5 games. A week ago was their last game, a narrow 9-8 victory over Goddard. Meanwhile, Goddard over the weekend swept Espanola Valley 12-2 first game with Jorelianis Guzman with 2 home runs and 4 RBI. She's only a sophomore. Amaya Herrera was the winning pitcher. She's only a freshman. And then Goddard shut out Espanola 12-0 in the second game. Hey, I mentioned softball action today, right? Dexter playing at East Mountain. That's a doubleheader to start off the district schedule. That starts at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Dexter is 6-2 on the season. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The Transportation Security Administration issued its employees back pay on Monday after President Trump signed an order for them to be paid, even as a partial shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security drags on. The paychecks appear to have relieved severe congestion at some airport TSA checkpoints. U.S. and Israeli attacks on Iran have driven up prices, darkened the outlook for the world economy, and sent global stock markets reeling. Ongoing strikes and counterstrikes on Persian Gulf refineries, pipelines, gas fields, and tanker terminals threaten to prolong the global economic pain for months. Air Canada announced Monday that its CEO will retire later this year after Michael Rousseau was criticized for his English-only message of condolence following this month's deadly crash in New York. Canada's largest airline, based in French-speaking Quebec, said that Rousseau told the board he will leave by the end of the third quarter. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
New Bluebell Brookie a la mode ice cream brings brownies and cookies together like never before. Big chunks of brownies, soft chocolate chip cookie pieces blended into a rich, creamy brown sugar ice cream. It's not too good to be true. It's just that good.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Albertsons United Supermarkets and Thriftway Supermarket in Ruidoso.
Looking to start, continue, or complete your higher education journey? Join the more than 5,700 current Greyhounds on their journey to student success. Eastern New Mexico University offers the most affordable higher education degree in the Southwest, and New Mexico residents can go to school tuition-free with the New Mexico Opportunity Scholarship. With online or in-person degrees, ENMU is the right choice for you. For more information, visit enmu.edu. ENMU, student success, that's what we're about.
Roswell Tire and Appliance will beat Home Depot prices on appliances, and they will beat discount tire prices on tires. It's not complicated. It's not difficult. Listen one more time. Roswell Tire and Appliance will beat Home Depot prices, and they will beat discount tire prices. Come into the store for all the details.
This is why the Maloney of Roswell Tire and Appliance inviting you to shop local and save.
They'll beat Home Depot prices, and they'll beat discount tire prices. 101 South Main. Call 575-213-1362 or go online at RoswellTireandAppliance.com.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. We're closer than ever before to winning Secretary of War Hegseth's assessment on this day 31 of the Iran war. So will the U.S. be sending in ground troops? And the jury's still out.
Our adversary right now thinks there are 15 different ways we could come at them with boots on the ground. And guess what? There are. So if we needed to, we could execute those options on behalf of the President of the United States and this department. Or maybe we don't have to use them at all. Maybe negotiations work, or maybe there's a different approach. But the point is to be unpredictable in that.
Among today's action, the U.S. hit weapon sites in central Iran, while Iran targeted central Israel. Easter coming this Sunday is when Christians commemorate Jesus' life, death, and resurrection, while churches worldwide will welcome in-person worshipers, a platform called Pray.com, also reaching believers online. Jack Graham is senior pastor at Prestonwood Baptist Church in Dallas.
Pray.com is an incredible platform, and it's an app. You get on the app, and it's like Netflix for believers because there are all kinds of options. We've had the privilege of being on there from nearly the beginning with the Bible in a Year with Jack Graham. And when we started, we didn't know what would happen. And now, 3 years later, there are 100 million downloads on the audio version of this, and we've just been blown away.
Pastor Graham is now engaged in a video version of the Bible in a Year, which through AI is being produced in 10 different languages. More information is available at the website pray.com. No relief yet from skyrocketing gas prices hitting an almost 4-year high. AAA puts the national average for a gallon of regular at just over $4, up $1 in the past month. The rally rolls on Wall Street. The Dow is up 654 points. The Nasdaq ahead 444 points for a gain of just over 2%. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Here's an important message
Have you noticed
from the
losing weight
Diabetes
is harder than it
Solution
used to be?
Center.
You're eating
Do you
better
like
and
pricking your
exercising?
fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
The head of Canada's largest airline is retiring, perhaps a bit sooner than he had planned.
Air Canada announcing Monday CEO Michael Rousseau will retire this year following criticism for his English-only condolence message with French subtitles after a crash on the runway at New York's LaGuardia Airport killed the 2 pilots.
Hello, bonjour. I'm Michael Rousseau. Today is a very somber day at Air Canada.
Canada is an officially bilingual nation. Prime Minister Mark Carney and others criticized Rousseau and called for his resignation. Rousseau apologized, saying his French was subpar, even though he was taking lessons. Julie Walker, New York.
Authorities are investigating a shooting took place at a high school in Bulverde, Texas, that is near San Antonio. Police say a student was shot and wounded, or rather the student shot and wounded a teacher before taking his own life, and this happened yesterday morning. News and analysis, townhall.com. No, you can't bring that on the plane.
Police in California say a U.S. Marine has been detained at Palm Springs International Airport after TSA officers found a live explosive round in his checked bag. It happened Monday during routine baggage screening. The Palm Springs Police Department says the Marine told investigators he picked up the 25-millimeter round about a year ago. He said he thought it was not live. Police say rust and corrosion hid the markings. Authorities confirmed it was live and destroyed it in a desert area. No one was hurt. Authorities are reviewing the case for potential criminal and civil penalties. I'm Julie Walker.
Trump administration officials will soon consider exempting oil and gas drilling in the Gulf of America from the Endangered Species Act. That exemption requested by War Secretary Hegseth, citing unspecified national security concerns. Townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. Let's have a listen. What does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2 of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Tuesday.
Yes, second day of the rest of your life.
It is just a weird, like I feel like, I know it's only Tuesday, but it feels later in the week for me. I don't know why. Like I know yesterday's Monday, but it feels like Thursday.
Because I think it's you've crammed quite a little bit already into this week. You've had a doctor's appointment yesterday, another one today.
Yeah.
You've it's a stressful time.
Got a meeting.
Meetings.
Yeah. It's busy.
It's life finds a way.
It just feels like later. I'm like, man, it's only Tuesday. Man, it's like the weekend.
I try to stretch these kinds of weeks out, a little bit. If there's less actual stuff I have to go and do. I gotta point out, I know I have the absolute worst luck when it comes to tires, and I did it again. I was coming back. The second I leave Roswell,
it just knows.
Something's going to happen. I'm coming back from Artesia on Friday, and I just noticed that I cannot accelerate. I can't keep at 70, let alone go, any over. And I was like pedal down, and I was losing gas mileage in a real way.
And it was a windy day Friday.
It was windy, so I chalked it up to I was driving into the wind, so that was it. But I went from how you got the expected mileage on the dash. I had 103 to E when I was driving out of Artesia. As I was pulling into Roswell, it was at about 60.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was losing serious gas. To the point I was like, do I have a leak? But turns out, no, I caught something when I went to Artesia. Which sounds like I was with a hooker, but no, apparently a nail or something along those lines.
You find those things, man. You just are a magnet for nails and screws and things.
Yeah.
Do you have magnets on your tires? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe there's actual magnets in your tires.
Yeah. I feel like it's a conspiracy. Big tire.
Yeah.
They put these tires on. They're like, let's put magnets in there.
And they're tiny tires.
I know.
Like you think they'd be much bigger catching all these nails.
Yeah, you'd think.
Well, but yeah. So again,
the
patch guy was able to fix it up.
Thank goodness to the fine folks at MTA for coming through and patching up.
Yeah. You're the only guy I know that's like, yeah, my patch guy. Because you actually need one. You're like, I got my patch guy on speed
Which is funny because his name is also Sean.
Is he EAN or
I've never asked. I think it is HAWN, Holland, but I never thought to ask.
Yeah.
Spelled phonetically.
See if you ask for a business card. Maybe next time. Hey, you got a card? I got some friends that has a patch issue too. Get you one.
If your last name was Adams and you didn't start a tire patching company, you really like call it Patch Adams. You're really doing yourself and the public a disservice.
Yeah, it's way better than Sean Patching Company.
Sean's Patches.
Or if your patch is O'Houlihan.
That's exactly where my
the other one.
Dodge, dive, dodge, and fix your tires.
Luck of the Irish Patching Company with Patches O'Houlihan. I would just be like, I'm punching holes in tires. Just have that guy come to my house.
This looks like you did this. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right. If you can dodge a screwdriver, you can dodge a tire.
I couldn't dodge a nail.
Oh man.
Yeah. And it's funny. I really didn't think about it until you pointed it out. How they're thin, small tires. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
That's what I'm saying. I have much bigger tires. I haven't ended up screwing them. I just jinxed myself.
In fairness, that's probably the problem. Like, you look at the tires, my car comes up to some people's tires, like the roof of my car.
Right.
But you look at some of those tires, you couldn't puncture those with a dagger.
Now that I think about it, this reminds me of those videos. You see the little person with the shoelaces. like most tires come up to the nail, it's tiny. Right. Your tire comes up and it looks like Excalibur.
Some guy's just picking his teeth, takes the toothpick, tosses it down. I'm like, ah! I'm 6'1", man. I'm amazed what you can put inside one of those vehicles. They're incredibly roomy. It's funny though, when I am driving, I see cars like fancier cars, like Lamborghinis and stuff, and I'm like, those. How do you fit in those? Because their roof is so low.
Yeah,
I know. It looks silly, like I'm driving in a bubble, but I got so much headroom.
Yeah, big people forget. It's like what did Shaq buy? There was something that Shaq bought, and he got in that, and it was the funniest thing.
Like a Honda Civic or something.
Yeah, but it was more like a Bugatti or something kind of expensive. Mm-hmm. He couldn't fit in.
That's
paid $2 million for a car.
Check that before you sign the check.
Yeah, I was just saying. That's all. I got a lengthy interview, so I probably should get going here. But I just got this image of your car's tire.
Yeah, now I do too. That toothpick thing is just on loop in my. See, the problem is I got really into Vines.
Yeah.
And Vines, if you're not careful, they'll on a 6-second loop, they'll just play over and over again.
Yeah.
So I just have that one playing in my head over and over.
Well, and it could easily translate to another one. The old "you can't park here." That bit. You ever seen that one?
Which one?
The "you can't park here" bit. Oh, that's a funny one. There's a whole bit. I think it started in England, where people have crashed their car up on a light post or
okay,
and they drive by you. Hey, you can't park there.
Yeah, no, I've seen a few of those. Yeah. So I'm wearing the Bluey shirt. Every time I see one of those, the first thing I go to is nice parking spot, Rita. They have this whole thing about how the grannies are terrible drivers.
Yeah. Well, they can't. Never mind. I was like, they can't. Never mind.
Let's not upset the demographic.
That's right. All right. It is 8:13. We're going to get you up to date weather. Take a quick break. Then we're going to play our interview with Hunter Spintle from the District Attorney's Office. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Weather this hour brought to you by Southwest Bearing under new ownership. Custom solutions for your heavy equipment. Hydraulic hoses, hose repair, bearings, seals, sprockets, belts, tools, fluids, and fittings.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Close to 90 on the afternoon high today. We'll have sunshine, maybe a few clouds. Overnight turning cloudy. We have cold front set to drop through. We'll be in the mid-50s. We do have a slight chance of a shower or two on Wednesday. Gusty wind around 40 miles an hour, and it will be slightly cooler. Our high in the low 80s. And then for Thursday, back to sunshine, mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Ring in the new year and save on the speed you need with Plateau. Switch today and get reliable, blazing fast speed to stream more, game more, and surf more than ever before. Plus consistent billing with no data caps. And with Plateau, you'll save more too. Take 2026 to the next level with Plateau. Lock in your low rate today, then get ready to get the speed you need without breaking the bank. Call 1-877-PLATEAU or log on to plateautel.com today and ring in the new year with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
Hey, Roswell, it's Ford Truck Month, and your friends at Roswell Ford are rolling out massive savings on all new Fords and 000. You heard right. During Ford Truck Month, get 0% financing for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days. Plus, Roswell Ford needs your trade today, so we are willing to overpay. We'll do whatever it takes to get you released from your car, truck, or SUV, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth. So you can upgrade to a new Ford for less, with 0% financing for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders that will push to approve your credit with great rates and terms, even if it's less than perfect. Get on board at Roswell Ford. Upgrade to a new Ford today and get huge American-made savings with 0% financing for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days during Ford Truck Month. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com.
Interest accrues from date of sale. 0 APR is $16.67 per thousand. Financed on 2025 F-150s. Subject to lender approval. Offers not combined on select vehicles.
Spring is here, and Fulkerson has a few spring HVAC tips to help you get ready. Check for uneven temperatures from room to room. Replace your filter and pay attention to sounds that your unit makes. A professional spring checkup helps catch these issues early. And with the right fit membership from Fulkerson, you can rest assured knowing your unit is ready. With biannual maintenance and a reduced dispatch fee, even in the middle of the night. Call 575-319-9984 to find out more. Fulkerson Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Roswell and surrounding areas.
It's possible to turn peanut butter into diamonds. Peter Pan tried it with his buddy Skippy, but they couldn't do it in a jiff. Here's Mike Winters.
This morning, we have a deputy district attorney here representing the 5th Judicial District, Hunter Spindle, back with us this morning. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Good morning.
How's life? Yeah, you've been. It's been a few months since we've seen you, so
been busy.
I imagine life at the office has kept you. I don't know, chained to the desk maybe a little bit.
More like chained in cords.
Yeah.
I had what, 4 trials in, I don't know, 6 weeks,
Wow.
7 weeks.
And that's probably unusual because I'm going to take a guess that 90% of your caseload gets pled out or doesn't necessarily go to a full jury trial. At least, it'll at bare minimum some kind of hearing or something.
The vast majority of them do, probably about 98%. The jury trials I had, they were all violent in nature. A homicide, a kidnapping, that sort of thing.
Gotcha.
And especially like the homicides typically will go to trial, especially if they're charged with a first degree and we think we can prove it.
Well, I'm going to guess the stiffer the penalty, the more likelihood of it going to trial is. Right. So, and obviously, crimes of violent nature generally carry stiffer sentences than nonviolent crimes.
Yeah, correct. And of course, if we can't, if we don't think we can prove a certain element, we have to try to make a plea deal accordingly.
Well, and that's why there's at the end of the day the different levels of charging someone with a homicide here. From your murder one to manslaughter and things. Because you kill someone, reason does come into play, much in that, if it's plotted, planned, and everything, then we got a murder one charge here. But if it's a crime of passion or something, spur of the moment, then we're looking at manslaughter or something, or a second-degree murder wasn't planned per se. Yeah, you meant to do it, right? But you didn't plot and plan it. You just got mad and went nuts for a second,
right?
Kind of.
And the one thing we always have to be cognizant of, and we'll get people calling mad at our office and whatever. But it's like a lot of times we'll plan to go to a jury trial and we have this evidence of possible like self-defense, and we have to take that into consideration. Sure. And that's why a lot of times we'll make an offer based on that.
Sure.
And I mean, that can even be for just a shooting crime,
sure,
or something of the sort. And and juries here are very hesitant to convict someone if they even think it's a
sure. And that's why I was kind of curious where it kind of just when you were talking here because you see this story a lot on the Netflix documentaries and stuff where it's a person that murdered someone where they kind of were the victim prior to that, where they were abused or something like that. And obviously, the heartstrings, then you get is it justified? Is this? And there's that debate going on. And of course, generally the documentaries try to, spin it towards normally
there's some agenda.
The killer's the victim type thing here. But I'm kind of curious in real life, when you get these types of situations, because look, at the end of the day, committing a crime, even though it's because a crime was committed against you, is still not legal. Right. You cannot take the law into your own hands. Therefore, yes, even if morally you're like, they probably don't deserve jail time, by law, they committed a crime, have to be charged and have to be prosecuted as such.
Right.
Where the latitude comes is in the judge and the charges and things. But I'm curious, imagine that probably happens more often than you think, where in quote unquote we have a murder due to a abusive situation, but the victim / suspect 9 times out of 10 is going to probably spend jail time or do something, because it doesn't end the way you think it does on Netflix. Right. Is what I'm trying to get at. That, but what I'm trying to say is, no, at the end of the day, now that's where the pleas and say, look, clearly we know, and she needs more treatment than punishment, so we need to steer it that way. And I'm sure your office works with them very much on that. But that being said, there's still got to be an overwhelming amount of evidence to say, we could clearly tell there was abuse going on here.
And so what you're kind of getting at is what's considered like battered woman syndrome.
Sure, yeah.
And some states recognize it, some states don't. And it's one of those things that you have to kind of take into consideration. And that goes into everything, even if it's not a woman, if it's a man.
Sure, yeah.
Whatever.
We always assume, but be honest, men are, I don't know the number, but it's probably around 20-30%. Yeah.
Well, and even in that same vein, it's the, looking at it, do these two people have a past history?
Sure.
Like, is there bad blood between them?
Right.
Is
it more? No, they've been taking shots at each other for years.
Right.
And she just got the last one.
Right. and sometimes it's in such a way that it's like, what can we prove? Where, especially if we have like, all right, well, these easiest way to do is not even really with a woman, because we don't really get a ton of those cases, and you really have to have experts in order to do that.
Sure.
Sort of thing.
And I imagine when those do come in, they're usually high profile, which means a lot of media coverage, et cetera, so forth. So,
yeah. And they're typically few and far between, but the more common version is when you have like two sects of people who have bad blood with each other. This dude attacks this guy, beat him up or whatever. And then now this guy's coming back, retribution
or whatever. McCoy almost?
Yeah, kind of.
It's like, now this went back like generations, kind of.
Warring families, especially here in Roswell. There's warring families,
there is
warring
gang
factions,
activities,
warring
and
gangs.
you part of your family rolls with a certain gang, and the other rolls, and by default they have to hate each other.
Well, and you sometimes even see it where it's like families are split in half because they married into another portion, and they don't like each other.
Absolutely.
Or
someone did someone dirty, and yep.
Or selling drugs on one side of the street, coming down and crossing turf. You know, I mean, that
started dating someone's sister or anything like that. Yeah.
Right. And a lot of that we have to take into consideration, right? So, you know, the question is, if this person did that, was it just planned as a retribution? Were they trying to defend themselves from what they perceived as a threat?
Was
based
a true
on,
fear there. Yeah.
Right, based on a past history. You know, so that's all, we have to look at all of that.
Sure.
And try to determine.
And unfortunately, it's not as cut and dry as what people think sometimes. Like, obviously, you watch Law and Order or whatever show you're watching on this stuff. You know, the victim looks like a victim. You know, you know, they look like they've been beaten and things. But 90% of the time, it's not that cut and dry. You have to do some digging. You got to peel back the layer of onion a little bit here.
Yeah. And I watch, you know, what's funny is I watch Law and Order all the time.
Yeah.
I enjoy Law and Order.
Sure.
But I literally sit there and be like, well, that wouldn't happen in court.
Right.
That wouldn't happen. Nope. Nope. That's not how that goes. You know, I mean, it's just kind of how it is, you know, so that kind of gets annoying. So like, I like the beginning portion of it more so than like the trial portion of Law and Order.
Yeah. The actual, how they solved it, there was a whole lot of liberties taken on that, generally speaking.
Right.
But you get intrigued by the story. You're like, this guy did what now? Yeah. Or
and when they switch it on you and it's some other one that they determine, and you're like, okay, I didn't see that coming. Like, I like that portion of it, right?
And a lot of times, at least there was for a minute there, like if there was any kind of like Dateline story that was kind of getting a lot of national attention, they would do their own version of it basically on the show. You know, that was kind of
and you still see that a little bit, not quite as much as you used to, but you definitely do see that a little bit, especially with like the SVU portion of it. And
well, and then there's a couple stories that, you know, that kind of Netflix have made famous, or HBO. I know, like that staircase one with the family, and then there's that the guy in North Carolina with his family murdering and the kid, and they're like the latest celebs in that world. But anyway, it doesn't work that way on TV and all that. But I am also kind of curious, you know, like when it comes to, you know, because really also too, when it comes to what you charge and what you can do, does also come to the victim's cooperation or the victim's family's cooperation. You know, if how many? I'm just kind of curious are most people willing to cooperate, or most people willing not to cooperate? Because I think most law-abiding citizens probably think most people are very forthcoming with your thing. But I got a feeling it's because of kind of the other stuff you talked about, the bad history, the gang stuff. There is that you don't talk. Rats don't talk. Even if you hate that person, they're not flipping. They're not talking. This is, we'll handle it, I'll handle it. We're not letting the cops or the law handle it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it really depends on the case.
Yeah.
Typically for batteries, that sort of stuff, where it's like between family members, we can't prove those without a victim.
Gotcha.
Right? And probably, I don't want to go as far as 50%. I'd probably say 60% of them are dismissed.
Gotcha.
Because of lack of victim cooperation.
Sure.
So we'll see someone who's just a serial wife beater.
Sure.
But because she's afraid of him, you know, she will never testify against him. And I don't mean to sound crass.
Sure.
But, you know, it's hard to be like prosecuted when we have a victim who's uncooperative.
Sure.
And I've said this to people. I'm like, we can't force a victim to testify, and I can't just get an arrest warrant to have her come testify because we don't want to arrest victims. And this is what I don't mean to say to make it sound bad. It's like, but I can prosecute a dead body.
Sure.
And the problem is when you get to 4 or 5, our office and really prosecutors in general look at domestic violence specifically as a prelude to murder.
Sure.
You know, because the amount of spousal
it's just the
homicides,
evolutionary
it's an evolution of it.
Process, basically.
And and this is coming from someone who is prosecuted and got someone convicted who beat his girlfriend and ended up shooting up her home and killing her.
What?
You know, I mean, this is it's an evolution of that.
I know this just, you know, because I'll talk with the folks from the Roswell Refuge on the radio here talking about, you know, what they deal with, and they help victims and perpetrators of domestic violence. They help both sides there. But that being said, it's exactly they say exactly what you're talking about. It's the by the time they're coming to the refuge, that's basically they've been pushed beyond the limit.
Right.
That ain't the first time. They're not just rolling up after they got slapped for the first time in a car. Or, what I mean? That's this is this is where and of course when you get into domestic violence, it gets into the whole power thing and control and all that, and so they kind of break in that cycle of doing that. But like you said, they're not forthcoming with information because and this is the other cold hard truth is you can't the world of you hear jury tampering, you don't need to jury tamper in towns like this. It is this already. It's already there. If you already have the reputation, if they already know, and someone's going to say, look, there is not a law enforcement agency in the land that says they can protect me if I testify, because at some point, it's too small of a town. It's too people know people. People, it's going to come back on them no matter what promises you make, and so you can't combat that, and people, and you can't do anything about it because you can't protect this person when you can't send everybody in witness protection. You can't do all that.
And we try to protect people as best we can by keeping their addresses and that sort of stuff private.
Yeah, but everybody knows everybody, and if
they catch wind.
In the world of social media, people are found out in 5 minutes on social media.
Yep.
How many? Every time you see the lady taking the ball away from the kid at the baseball game or any of these things,
it's all on video.
By the end of the day, they know the whole history of this person. You know what I'm saying? The internet's going to do what the internet does, and that's for the world we live in right now. And if someone does something here, even in here in our town, it's going to go and hit the circuit, and you can't hide from that anymore. And that, by nature, puts a hand behind your back when you're prosecuting.
And that makes it really difficult.
Sure.
And of course, like with domestic violence stuff, I always say it like this. The first time we meet with someone, if someone's unwilling to be cooperative, and we can actually get them in the door to meet with us, and they're like, I don't want to testify, I don't want to do this. We're like, okay, we understand, we'll do this, and here's resources, available, for if you need anything, counseling. Here's resources. Hopefully you can give to him, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then once we could say, okay, that's a mistake, right? People mess up, people make mistakes, people regret doing things. But when you see it multiple times, that's a character flaw. That's an issue, right? That needs to be addressed.
It's the fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame you, or whatever the saying goes. Yeah.
And same with if you look at DUIs or violent felonies. I mean, for one, DUI is a mistake. 2 is a problem. Right.
13 is
oh yeah. You need to go to prison for a while.
Which is and that's the part that, because those are the ones you always see on the news. It'll be on the evening news, and it's always the one that, and you're amazed. It's like, how does someone get 17 DUIs and still on the road? You know what I mean? And ideally, no, that shouldn't be. But again, this is where we get to talk to our legislature and talk. When there's not enough judges, there's not enough courts, there's not enough sentencing, there's not enough jails, there's not enough everything to do everything. Guess what? Someone got 17 DUIs.
Well, and a problem with that is, they're lucky they haven't killed anyone.
Sure.
And if they have, they should be in prison, or at least have done some serious, really good long-term probation, that sort of stuff, and hopefully have kicked the habit. But there's a big miss in the law with DUIs specifically. And I know that's very different from what we were just talking about with violent felonies and that sort of stuff.
It's the show.
It's the show, right?
We change gears in a moment's notice.
And an 8th DUI in New Mexico is 8th or above, right? And it's 12. It's a 12-year term, 10 years of it which cannot be suspended. So
it's mandatory.
It's mandatory time. The problem is a 7th, just under that, is only 3 years.
Wow.
With 2 years mandatory. So you have a big jump in scope, right?
Sure.
And to me, there needs to the 6th, 7th, and 8th needs to be larger.
Sure.
These people need to be spending
like they should be doing
more
2
time.
years in like the 2nd or 3rd one.
Correct.
And then by the time they get in their 5th one, maybe they should be doing 5-6 years or whatever it is.
So your first one in New Mexico is a petty misdemeanor. You can only be sentenced up to 6 months. And under the law, you can get a deferred as long as you do everything you need to under a year.
Gotcha.
In a year probation.
Sure.
A second is a full misdemeanor. So again, it's still a year. But after that, once you get to 4, you can get a felony. And
now, do you get the and this is again, like I'm naive, because I know another aspect is the expense because you got to pay for the interlock breathalyzer jobber and all that.
Which is like $90 a month.
Yeah. And so, is that a first time offense? Like, if you get busted and regardless of whatever they give you, one of those are going in your car?
Yes.
Or I have no idea.
Yeah. So if you're
or is that a second or third time thing?
No, if you're convicted of a first offense DUI, you're mandated to have a ignition interlock in your car for a year.
And I know a lot of people, like the one complaint I hear is like, man, this is expensive to have that thing in there. And well, so is that DUI.
Right.
So is everything else involved.
Right.
So is that 5th of liquor you probably used to get here.
Well, and it's like just even if you're like represented by a public defender.
Yeah.
And trying to do everything, you're talking roughly $2,500 or more, roughly, that you're paying in a year time for a DUI.
By design, the whole thing is, and this is to really deter those one-timers, those ones that say, okay, that's the wake-up call. It was very expensive for me to do this.
Yeah. And especially if you blow high, having to spend 48 hours in jail.
Not to mention if the embarrassment involved of all that, and then the world we live in, your mugshot may or may not end up on online here. There's all that world here.
Yeah.
That's what we live in. But so that's why we want to kind of look at that first time as almost the, lack of better term, scared straight kind of thing. Problem is when you have actual alcoholics with alcoholism, they're feeding the addiction. Therefore, you can't embarrass them enough. They're going to continue to do these things. And guess what? People that do these break the law. You can take away their license; they're still going to drive.
Right.
Just because they don't have a card in their wallet or an ID or whatever on the phone now, you know what? They still do drive.
Right.
It's like criminals. Felons can't buy guns, but they still get them somehow.
So let's make more laws about trying to restrict guns. It's not going to affect anyone except the good card carrying citizens.
So that's what they're dealing with as well here too. It's like, that was taken away a long time ago. That's not stopping them from driving.
No. and the worst one I've ever seen is someone had 13 convictions. And I'm like, how is this dude still able to go out and do this? And his was bad. I mean, just like the video of him was just terrible.
Yeah, he was like sloppy drunk.
Oh yeah, and blew really high. And it's just like, I'm like, dude, the defense attorney and doing their job, wanting me to amend way down to allow him to only do a year in prison, and I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah, we were a year in prison.
13.
Yeah. We were a year in prison 6 arrests ago.
Yeah. Luckily, I was like, the best I can do is do the statutory minimum of 10 years, and that's it. And and he agreed to it after.
And hope to God he gets some kind of rehab program.
And it's mandated in the Department of Corrections when you're sentenced to mandatory prison time.
Like, hey, while you're here, you're going to get treatment.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And they did a motion to suppress and failed on it. And by the end of it, once he lost, that's when they were like, okay, will you do the statutory? I was like, yeah, because I'm not going down. I'm like, we, multiple jurisdictions around the state and other states reduce, and this dude has a problem. It's
And this is beyond habitual.
I'm like, he's lucky he hasn't killed himself or somebody else.
We're officially approaching menace to society status.
Right. He's a danger.
Yes.
And we have to do pretrial detentions here, just like for violent felonies.
Sure.
I filed one on him.
Yeah.
So he could not get out of jail. And he didn't. He didn't get out of jail the whole time. He ended up, by the end of it, he had 2.5 years worth of credit.
Sure.
So he had another 8 years to serve. And that's kind of how it worked out. And and then of course New Mexico, you get half time. So every 30 days you get 30 days credit. So realistically, he's only going to serve 4 more. You would only serve 4 more years.
Right.
So, I mean, which I have my own thoughts about that, but,
Sure.
Still, and because it doesn't consider a violent felony, personally, I think, and this is just me speaking, not the view of the 5th Judicial District Attorney's Office.
Right.
If the...
the views expressed by Hunter Spindle.
Yeah, views expressed explicitly by Hunter Spindle. Personally, I think DUIs, a felony level DUI, should be an exception to a good time requirement.
Well,
I don't think you should. I think it should be considered like a violent felony, in which you only get 4 days credit a month.
Gotcha.
That's what I think.
Yeah, because in my estimates, it's murder.
Yeah, it could be.
At that point, I'm assuming at this point we've got a fatality, in the accident here. Is it murder one? No. Did they intend to kill? No. But we are all at a point in our lives that we know it's you drink, you get behind the wheel, these things happen.
Yeah.
We ignorance is not an excuse. Ignorance isn't. Ignorance of the law has always never been an excuse. But look, okay. 50 years ago, your grandparents, they're like, you don't want to drink and drive because you'll hit a bump and spill your beer. It ain't nothing to do with your alcohol content.
Yeah.
They didn't care. They weren't even wearing seatbelts back then, let alone, okay, if you come from that era, all right. But even now, this is 30 years later. Well, you're probably dead. But if you're still driving, you should know better by now.
Right.
But everyone that's driving now, for the most part, grew up in an era of seatbelts, grew up in, don't drink and drive campaigns and everything. The education is out there, and so you can't, I don't care where you live or where you're from or what the rule is, 0.8, 0.7, point, whatever it is. You drink, you drive, you're committing a crime, and that's just what's going to happen. And
one of my favorite things I remember, I had a defendant that was prosecuting. This was, 3 or 4 years ago. And on the video, he's like, well, you have a beer with you and you're, driving while intoxicated. He's like, no, I'm just drinking while I'm driving. He's like, it's still against the law.
Right. You can't have an open beverage while in the driver's seat of your vehicle.
And he blew like a .06, and granted he took a plea for DUI, but it was just so funny.
Yeah.
And he had was charged with DUI open container, and he had already had a previous one, so it was just one of those things. He's like, I wasn't driving drunk, I was just driving while I was drinking.
Right.
I'm like,
not drunk yet.
I never thought of that, but okay.
There you go. It is a story. I got to ask too, because since we're talking about this, because I always hear this one, because in theory, if you're sitting in the driver's seat, you're in operation of your control of your vehicle, so to speak, and so you'll get the people that pull over to sleep it off theory and things. So if they get in the back seat and do it, you probably will not hit a charge on that, assuming they pull. But can they still charge you if you're sitting in the driver's seat, technically with the keys ignition, even though you're sleeping on? So pro tip: if this is your thing, get out of your car.
Yep.
Go get in the back seat, leave your keys in the front seat or something, and then proceed to, that way at least you can avoid the charge there on that one.
Now the new cars with the whole push button start, and different states have different kind of case law on it. It really hasn't been addressed in New Mexico per se, but a lot of states are putting it as like, because you have that key, no matter where that key is in the car or even around the car, that push button, it can automatically start it, right? So that's automatically operating.
So in theory, you can operate the vehicle.
Well, so it used to be like if you're in the front seat and you throw your keys in the back seat where you can't drive off in the car, you're not operating it.
that world don't work
That doesn't work anymore.
Because you don't even have to get in the car with
Right.
Mine, the key's in my pocket, it senses it and opens unlocks the door for me already.
Exactly.
Same thing with your startup and all that. Yeah.
So essentially, for you not to be operating it, you would have to be in the back seat, essentially. Now, of course, like I said, there's no case law on point specifically in New Mexico, but it's, in theory, that would not be operating the car.
Now, if you are one of those people that has the round key to open your trunk and a square key to open for your ignition, you probably don't have to worry about that.
Right. Which I used to have.
It was like in the day.
My Nissan.
Yeah. I mean, and it was always, the round key, that's for the trunk, and the square key is the rectangle keys for the ignition here.
Long gone are the days where you could, sit in the front seat with the car on and put in the off position, whatever.
Right.
Because I mean, even that, like if you still have an old school key in the ignition start and it's off.
Yeah.
But if the key is there and you're sleeping it off in the front seat, you're still in operation.
Absolutely. A quick flick of the wrist
Exactly.
and you're back in business.
Exactly. And that's why the code section was specifically changed to take away just from driving.
Sure.
It was changed to driving and or operating.
Sure.
And that was kind of to get in conformity with what the Supreme Court said, 20 years ago.
Now, like, say, I'm going to take a guess that if there is situations like this, most of those cases probably get pled out. They probably rarely go to trial because at some point you're like saying, I get it. You were trying to do the right thing. We're not trying.
Right.
We don't want to. Now, again, history comes into play on this one. We got a history of sleeping on the side. Right. Yeah. Maybe we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
But I would. So I imagine it rarely goes to trial because then they can get into okay, well, the car engine was cold. It clearly hasn't been running in 2 hours. We can play the Matlock at all you all want on all that stuff. At the end of the day, the law is what the law is.
And DUIs probably have a higher plea rate than almost any other.
Well, it's just because there's sheer volumes of them, and so many people do them, and
it's so technical.
Yeah,
like you don't have the wild card, as I would say it, of civilian witnesses typically.
Sure.
You do in an accident case, but in your standard run-of-the-mill DUI, you have 2-3 officers.
Absolutely.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And it's video. And it's them testifying.
And a lot of smelling, and because it's on-scene observation stuff.
Or you have an expert who did the blood testing, or you have, BAC report, but that's it.
And I'm going to say I'm going to take a stab that most DUI arrests aren't the ones you see on YouTube or TikTok where it's the guy stumbling out. They're going to be just barely over the limit. In all intents and purposes, it probably seem a little normal, other than they smell like alcohol and things. They're not to the point of peeing themselves and being. Those are the ones that end up on TikTok and everything else. So it's. You need those blood numbers, the breathalyzer numbers, because when they're stumbling, they can't do all that, and it's pretty easy. It's like, look, come on.
I would probably say that style when they're stumbling is probably a little higher than you would think.
Okay,
it's probably about 25%.
Okay,
maybe a little less. It also DUIs are kind of weird. They come in waves. Where it's like you'll get a whole bunch, especially around holidays.
I'm going to say, I imagine 4th of July, Christmas, the big drinking holidays.
Where you get a lot where people are really drunk and it's really obvious in videos. And then you get some where, the person looks okay, whatever, but they, those ones can be difficult.
Right.
Because on video, you're like, all right, he took 8 steps instead of 9.
Sure.
He put his foot down once. It's slightly okay,
but
not like didn't do well on the standard field sobriety test, but not terrible, right? And he's not slurring.
Well,
he's whatever.
And that's the thing people most, yes, I mean they are checking your balance and things, but they're really paying attention to. Did you listen to instructions? Like did you take
about instructions.
7 steps or 8 steps or whatever the number of steps they ask you to take, or did you just keep going? You know, that's the stuff because drunk people. They'll get part of the statement, but not the back half. And so they start doing that thing, thinking their thing is like, you didn't listen. And so that's the indicator.
Yeah.
So when people say, well, I'm diabetic or I'm whatever it is, it's like, they're not trying to see how athletically
inclined you
are. They're trying to see if you can listen and follow instructions. Now, obviously, the eye stuff, that's, because the way the eyes move, that tells for them, If it's jerky or I don't know the indicators that the cops do, but, they're looking for certain things.
Vertical and horizontal nystagmus.
And then I'm going to say, because cannabis is now legal, that's a whole nother, because you really can't do a breathalyzer or anything on that.
No, they have specific training called A-Ride for it.
And so there's a lot more visual tests. I'm sure your eyes probably do something different when you're impaired.
Well, and I can tell you that, especially in practice, they do like eye stuff for there, but like in trial, we can't use it.
Gotcha.
It's a really good indicator of maybe something going on.
Yeah.
But
it's a lot harder to get a DUI case on marijuana right now. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and luckily New Mexico has their their statute is a little bit more broad than some other states.
Gotcha.
Some other states, you need an expert witness to testify that, this person would have this effect because of this. And the problem is you can't really do that because the marijuana affects everyone differently.
Sure. That being said,
depending on how long they use them and whatever.
That being said, if your passenger side floorboard is filled with crumpled up Funyun bags, that's going to be an indicator. I'm just saying. I'm just kidding.
Well, and what people don't realize is people are like, oh, it's just marijuana. It's still illegal to smoke it right before driving.
Sure, it impairs you.
It impairs you.
It's
you can't smoke it while driving.
Yes. Okay.
And
doesn't have the side effects or have, yeah, I'm not going to say there's not a lot of bar fights with a bunch of potheads. I'm just saying that's not that common. You're right.
Yeah.
But that don't mean they still ain't weaving all over the road or thinking that
and typically driving slower.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Driving slower.
How fast you think you're going? 65, 30, sir. You're going 30.
Yeah. I was like, you see a lot more driving slow where they think they're going really fast.
65, 76. You're going 6, sir.
or like some of my favorite ones where they think they're driving and they're just sitting in the middle of the road, not going anywhere.
Right.
And you're like, what are you doing? Just okay.
Trying to order food.
And some of them my favorite, but I've literally heard it on videos before.
Sure.
Where people are like, well, you can't search my car because just for the smell of marijuana. They can if they think. Sure. They can if you're driving.
Absolutely.
And they think you're possibly impaired.
Yeah.
Now they can't if it's just they pull you over for a tail light.
Sure.
And they come up and they just smell like marijuana.
Sure.
They need to have other reason to search the car.
You have to give them a reason to say you show an impairment, maybe you swerved or you start talking to them and you're
That doesn't mean they can't ask you to get out of the car and then build that.
So if you try to be funny with them, they're going to think this guy's hiring a kite. We're going to do some more investigating.
Oh, yeah.
So curtail your jokes accordingly.
It's funny when you say, well, you can't search my car just for marijuana. Well,
hold my beer.
Well, it depends. The answer is it depends, just like everything else in the law.
Absolutely.
It depends.
Sure. Well, and let's face it, if it's sitting right there on the front seat, I mean, now, granted, I know it's legal and things, but if you literally have a pipe that's got burnt ash sitting right there in the passenger seat, that looks like you just smoked it. They're going to want to do some more investigating
and that's a good thing there. So like that may be a reason why they started a DUI investigation and search to see if you have smoked and that sort of thing.
Now, if you got a sealed bag sitting there, then that's another story. That's no different than you having a 6-pack of beer sitting there. That, as long as it's
unopened. Yeah.
They
can, and that's always a key difference. And when the law came in, that was something because I did a training with law enforcement in Roswell and Artesia and Lee County and Carlsbad. And one of the big things I had to tell them is I had to make that splitting of hairs. And they're like, well, I don't understand how we're supposed to do our job.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's on you. And they're like, well, I don't understand how they're supposed to, like how we're supposed to understand the difference. And I'm like, that's why you come to these.
Sure.
And I teach you.
Sure.
And I was like, your job is to split hairs.
And to be honest, this is new territory for everybody. So there's going to be an evolution on this. And and you know what? Science may allow us a more definitive way of spotting impairment on marijuana here easier, quicker. Maybe there's going to be a blood test we can figure out. Or I don't know what'll be out there, whatever technology gives us.
And that change in the law had like really sweeping effects too, because they had, every canine, drug dog that was in the state, they had
all were no marijuana.
Yeah, they all had to be retired.
Yeah, because that's expensive. You can't just retrain them to forget marijuana smell and only focus on meth or fentanyl or whatever.
Yeah, and people don't realize that. It's like, after it came in, RPD had to retire all their canines, and they had to get new canines and wait for them to be trained. And that's why all their canines that are there now have only been there a couple years.
Right.
They're young. They're not puppies anymore, but they're still, 3-4 years old.
They've got a lot of service life, depending on health and everything, they'll go 10 years.
Yeah, 8 to 10 years is that.
Yeah, depending on
that time.
And of course too, this is where people don't realize too is that when it comes to canines, some canines are the drug sniffers. Others are search and rescue. They're not out looking for drugs. They're looking for lost people and things.
Yeah.
That's what they're trained to do. Is the ones that smell the shirt and go the bloodhound go run into the woods looking for the
Well, then you have like the ones like ours. They're all trained. I mean, similarly trained.
They're kind of Swiss Army knives, or they have they're proficient at multiple
things.
Yeah.
Or and so when they all kind of come from the same style breeders, right? And then they get determined where they're going to go.
Sure.
So it's like our court facility dogs are trained or come from some of the same places where some
but their training involves more of being a calming force and being a loving force.
They see what the dogs specifically are good for.
Pick up on feelings.
Yeah. And so like ours are trained much more to be an aid in court, and then there's some that are good with just being a more of a personal dog for someone to own.
They almost I would almost
service
think
dog.
like the DA dogs kind of. Like they would also be the ones that would have that skill set that you see sometimes for people that have service dogs for like when they go into epileptic shocks or that they can kind of sense that that's about to happen and give them their medicine. Like you've seen those kind of, like the DA dogs come from that same id on that too, where
and that's because they can smell.
Sure,
they can smell and sense your pheromones and your change in your body chemistry and all that. And like our dogs are trained in like 90 different things.
Sure.
But they only focus on one area.
They can sense when someone's nervous or fearing or scared, and they know to put the head on the lap or do what dogs do to make you
Exactly. And they come in handy for especially for and like sex offenses and stuff with children. And
we're almost out of time here, but maybe we can use this last plug here. Folks, support the DA Dog program. I know they have the golf tournament and they have the fundraisers, salsas and things. Please keep supporting. Buy those. Sign up when they do. But if you'd like to make donations directly, unfortunately, there is no statewide, federal. There's no real funding for this program that has not only been proven to succeed time and time again, but is now being copied in other parts of the state and country here. And it really all kind of homegrown right here in the 5th District here, where these dogs really have been a game changer for prosecutors like Hunter here to get witnesses to testify, to get that information we were talking about earlier that's so hard to get to because of trauma or because of other issues. These dogs have been that icebreaker, that way to crack through that armor a little bit to get to that. And when they're not doing that kind of stuff, they are serving in like the Texas shootings.
Yep.
They were there, in grief support and things.
They were at the local hospital when that car accident happened the other day. They were there.
And then on occasion, they're just hanging out at the library having kids read to them. So
or going to schools.
Yeah, and doing so. They're celebrities and do their thing. And so
with their own baseball cards.
Yeah, they got their cool. I got them right over here. It's all thanks to the generosity of private donations and supporting the golf tournaments and buying salsa and doing all these things over the years. Please continue to do that. Go look for the DA Dog. I know if you do type in DA Dogs 50 Dish on Facebook, the page will pop right up there. Like, follow, reach out. They're always looking for more folks to help raise funds and to help raise awareness for this program to eventually get it to where our legislators are funding this, and so we don't have to do as many golf tournaments to help people to do this.
And you can always reach out to the district attorney's office and ask for Gina Yeager, and she will.
She's the DA dog lady.
She's the dog mama, as they call her, and she can help you out.
Absolutely. Hunters, always appreciate the visit.
Of course,
maybe
love being here.
Less of a gap between now and then, but I know duty waits, so but it is. So. But we appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason in Washington. The U.S. and Israel continue trading blows with Iran as the war rages on. An Iranian weapons site has been hit with a 2,000-pound bunker buster bomb. Israel has pummeled Tehran while Iran fires on an oil tanker off the coast of Dubai. Prices at the gas pump up $1 over the past month. That's according to AAA. Puts the national average for a gallon of regular at just over $4 as of this morning. In California, $5.88 a gallon. President Trump predicts that energy prices will come down once the war is over, and he expects that will be soon. Israel's parliament authorizing the ultimate punishment, the death penalty, for Palestinians convicted of murdering Israelis in the West Bank. Rally on Wall Street. The Dow's up 575 points. The Nasdaq ahead 453. More details at srnnews.com.
Now, time for another Otis Advisory.
The only thing more dangerous than being Chuck Schumer right now is being Chuck Schumer driving a red Tesla. That would be a bowel-curdling trigger event for the boys at Camp Trans Antifa, which kind of sounds like Nottingham Forest for the Pumps and Pearls fellows with the firebomb finish. Now, don't confuse all this with the halftime show at NASCAR. This time, though, Chuck really screwed the pooch, as Jill Biden likes to say. Chuck voted wrong and didn't complain enough. That's when the lid came right off at Donkey Camp Trans Antifa. Look, I know it's getting hard to score this stuff, but Orange Man doesn't care. He's sending Tesla firebombers to the pen for 20 big ones. More coffee, Warden? Then there's the dead people getting government checks. Well, why not? They can still vote, can't they? Said Chuck. Chuck, maybe they'll make you mayor of Greenland or something after your Senate job. But really now, how did Chuck Schumer get here so fast? When the Hate America train first left bankruptcy station, Chuck was right there to blow the whistle. Schumer used to be one of the cool kids who could ride his bike without holding onto the handlebars. Now poor Chuck can't get a table at Ruth Chris and is back to having gas station sushi like the rest of us. But don't write him off yet. Chuck is like cat pee. You'll never get the smell out. That's the way we, Otis. I'll see you at the Peace March.
Chris DeGaulle is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
And we're closing in on 9 o'clock. Town Hall News is up next. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. When it comes to negotiations aimed at ending the Iran war,
they're active and I think gaining strength. And we appreciate that.
Secretary of War Hegseth saying that while a diplomatic solution is preferred, victory for the U.S. and Israel in the war is closer than ever. An Iranian weapons site has been hit with a 2,000-pound bunker buster bomb, while Israel pounds Tehran. And Iran targeted central Israel. That's where we find correspondent Sam Mednick.
This is happening as President Trump has said that there is what he calls great progress in these talks that are being made to come to some sort of deal. However, he's also said that if no deal is reached soon, if the Strait of Hormuz is not open, that the United States is going to broaden its targets. So far there is no signs that this war is slowing. The United States and Israel continue to strike Iran, and Iran is continuing to send missiles this way as well.
The Israeli parliament has authorized the ultimate punishment for Palestinians convicted of murdering Israelis.
In effect, what the bill does is mandate that military courts in the West Bank dole out the death penalty as punishment for Palestinians convicted of nationalistic murder.
And that's correspondent Julia Frankel. The Supreme Court has ruled against a law that bans conversion therapy for LGBTQ kids in Colorado, one of about 24 states that banned the practice. The High Court majority siding with a Christian counselor who argues that the law banning talk therapy violates the First Amendment. The justices, ruling 8-1, agreed the law does raise free speech concerns and sent it back to a lower court. Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson cast the lone dissenting vote in that case. Watching Wall Street this morning, stocks have been sharply higher. The Dow is up about 312 points. The Nasdaq ahead more than 300 points as well, and the S&P is up 68 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals, too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Seeking closer ties with the West as well as more foreign investment, Syria's president meets today in London with Britain's prime minister.
The war with Iran is heaping economic pressure on a country struggling to recover from its long civil war. The repeated closure of its airspace, interruptions in the supply of natural gas, and the sudden return of large numbers of Syrian refugees from neighboring Lebanon are all making life difficult for a leader hoping to attract foreign investment to speed up his country's revival. Ahmed al-Shara is doing his best to stay out of the war, conscious that regional instability, whether in Lebanon or Iraq, could spill over his borders.
The BBC's Paul Adams. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and other Gulf allies of the U.S. are urging President Trump to keep up the pressure on Iran by seeing the war through to its conclusion. The allies say the month of strikes we've seen so far have not done enough to weaken the Iranian regime. News and analysis, townhall.com. The NFL moving ahead with plans to start hiring and training replacement officials in the coming several weeks.
The league and the NFL Referees Association have been negotiating a new collective bargaining agreement since the summer of 2024, but there's little sign of a resolution. The NFL has increased its offer to a 6.45% annual growth rate in compensation over a 6-year labor deal, but the NFL referees are demanding 10% plus $0.5 million for marketing fees. The current agreement expires on May 31st. Bob Agnew reporting.
High-tech systems allowing drivers to take their hands off the wheel while heading down the road will be scrutinized again by federal investigators in connection with 2 deadly crashes involving Ford's Blue Cruise system. The National Transportation Safety Board is expected to recommend ways to improve these partially automated driving systems. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3 of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday.
Yes.
It's a little cloudy out there.
It's hazy more than anything else.
Hazy, yeah. It's supposed to be sunny, but it's a little cloud-centric out there at the moment.
Sometimes my son surprises me with some of the things he says.
No.
The other day, we was sitting at my desk, and he's gotten a chair that was a little higher. He goes, I can see all obstacles in my way. Did you just quote a 60s song? You're 7, dude. Yeah, something like that.
Now I wonder, did he catch it from the song or was it in a video?
It was definitely from the song.
Okay.
Which is funny because he heard the song probably like in a meme, and then he mentioned it. He might have heard it at school or something. He mentioned it to me, and then I played it on my Spotify. And then, so he's heard it several times.
Okay, so it's in his
wheelhouse.
Yeah, okay.
It is. My kids sometimes, and I think this is maybe kids in general, but I've just been exposed to mine more than any others.
as one.
Are unintentionally the funniest people I know.
Yeah.
Today, I was dropping my daughter off at school, and a gentleman walked by as we were sitting in the parking lot. A gentleman walked by, a larger gentleman, portly, who was healthy, and I see him in my rearview mirror, and I'm, just whatever, waiting around, and I hear Rihanna go, "Here comes the wide bird."
Oh, no.
I'm like, the first thought was, don't say that. I look over, my daughter's got this fidget toy. It's a chicken that goes in and out, and she literally had the bird wide. Yeah. So that's what she meant.
She's another world.
She was a completely different topic, but... and I've been thinking about that literally for the last 45 minutes. Just like timing could not have been more perfect. Here comes the white bird.
It's like, oh, honey, you shouldn't talk about people. What?
So yeah, just unintentionally the funniest people I know.
Yeah, that kid. Well, there's a reason why there's a decades-long show, Kids Saying the Darndest Things, and yeah, your own kids, it's like your own pets. They other people aren't amazed by them, but you're kind of like, did you see what the cat did? See what my kid did. It's like the pictures in the wallet. Now no one does that anymore, but back in the day, we used to carry pictures in our wallets before we had phones. Right?
It's funny when you come across a wallet and it still has like the things for pictures. I'm like, nobody does that anymore. Yeah. It is kind of like it's sad because it's a bygone like movie and TV trope of taking the wallet out and the thing just
of pictures falling.
I guess you can do that with business cards now, but
yeah. Well, I mean, that's you got the phone. You literally have now. It's the phone. That's the new. Well, let me show you my kids.
Right.
That's the new version. But
well, that's in the. Hold on.
Yeah, that takes longer.
Hold on.
At least in the wallet, it was right there.
Exactly.
It was like, like the accordion of plastic falls out with all the pictures.
But I think everybody's going to a more minimalist style now. You got the Ridge wallets. And
well, it's because people don't carry cash anymore. You carry debit cards, and then a lot of times they'll combine like you have with the wallet / phone carrier.
I have had this style of case for probably about a decade now. It's the best kind of
Doesn't mess
case.
up cards or nothing?
No, because I've got this right here, so it blocks it. So cards in here. Hopefully nobody saw my information. And so it's all folds up into one. The one I had before, actually I had to change my screen protector because the one I had before did not have this flap. So the cards would just instantly hit the screen.
It would break
and scratch and mar the screen. So it was a long line right there.
Wonder how many screens broke before they said, we should put a barrier right here.
Something right here just to protect
the evolution of things. So real quick, I think our guest is here. I thought I heard doors opening and closing. So, but real quick, I started watching something that's been on a minute, but they got a new season coming, so it's what it got me started on it.
Okay.
Again, it's on Apple Plus, and there's like 3 or 4 seasons of it already there.
Oh, wow.
It's called For All Mankind, and it's a bit of an alternative history joint. It really doesn't have any celebrities of note.
Is this now? I've heard something about. Is this the one where Hitler wins World War II?
No.
Okay.
But it's kind of that same vein. Basically, what happens is the premise of this is the Russians beat us to the moon by a month.
Really?
Yeah. So
that makes that much of a difference.
Well, and that's what this story picks up right there, and then we go to the moon, and then it's the space race. And so I don't know where this is going to take me, but I watched the first 2 episodes, and I'm pretty interested.
So it looks like there's 5 seasons.
Yeah, I know I'm up late to the ball game, and I think there's a new season coming out here at the end of the month.
I don't want to spoil anything for you.
Or next month.
But in looking it up, just the series itself, it got what happens didn't get spoiled. But the style of the show, which I could tell you what it is. It's just to let each season skips a decade, so it keeps the story going that way.
Well, I'm in the 60s. I'm guessing. So I'll be in the 70s next season, and then the 80s.
I'm gonna make a deal with you.
Okay.
I will get an Apple TV Plus subscription for a minute if you'll get a Peacock subscription.
All right.
Because I can't figure out how to get Ted over here, my Peacock over here, without not being able to watch it anywhere else.
Yeah.
So you do that. I'll do Apple Plus, and I'll get caught up on Pluribus, and then we can jaw a little
banter. Yeah, I can get Ted 2
and a couple
season
other
2.
things.
Or no, Ted season 2. Okay, Ted
I can
2.
digest the entire series of Ted Lasso because now that that's closed.
Yep, that'll give you a minute.
I like watching shows that I know have come to a close, so that
although they keep teasing that's not done.
Really?
They do, and I don't know how they're going to pull that off.
I don't know how Bill Lawrence can pull all that. He's so busy.
Yeah, he's got a lot of irons in the fire
He's like
here.
the Taylor Sheridan of the dramedy.
Right. Although I got to be honest, I think we're starting to see the jumping of the Taylor Sheridan shark.
Really?
I think we're starting to. I think this Marshall show is not getting the love that his other shows do.
That's bad news for who did he just sign that big contract with? Was it Fox?
Hulu or
no? He signed it was a TV network. I can't remember if it was
if it's Fox, then that makes sense.
I can't remember if it was NBC or Fox, but
that makes sense because they're kind of gobbling up a lot of that kind of programming. A lot of what's his name's already doing stuff. A lot of stuff for Fox. The Yellowstone dude.
That's.
Not Sheridan, the actor.
Right. I can't think of his name.
Oh, shoot. Dance with Wolves. Dang it.
See, now I just left my head.
Kevin Costner. Thank you. My brain just went completely brain dead there. Yeah.
It's the murky pool.
It makes
murky
sense.
pool of names.
I mean,
all right.
Bringing them all, drawing them on over. It makes sense to me. Let me give you a rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you updated with the weather and all that here in just a bit. Spoiler alert. Going to be hot today, like 90. And then shortly thereafter, Pastor Troy Smotherman's going to join us here from Church on the Move. Easter weekend, this weekend, Easter Sunday, of course, they're doing their big Easter at Cielo Grande celebration where they're going to have their big fun kind of picnic event out at the park on Sunday. I know they did this last year. I can't remember if this was that their first year or they've done. I know they've been doing.
I think this is like.
I think this is year 2, maybe year 3.
We'll find out.
Yeah,
it's so funny to me. But we had such a lead up and a build up to Easter this year. It was like the latest I think that it can be.
Yeah,
and yet
it sneaks up on you
completely. And it's because the whole time we're like, oh, it's next month. That's tomorrow.
Yeah,
and it messes with your head. But yeah. Like I was talking to my kids' mom yesterday. We're like, oh, we should probably start on making their Easter baskets, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Easter time.
Yep.
But so Pastor Troy will join us here in just a few. We'll talk all about Easter at Cielo Grande, give us an update what's happening at the church as well. And then we'll do news and all that good stuff and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. Let's do this. Let's roll into weather and then take a quick break. And then we'll be joined by Pastor Troy from Church on the Move. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Close to 90 on the afternoon high today. We'll have sunshine, maybe a few clouds. Overnight turning cloudy. We have cold front set to drop through. We'll be in the mid-50s. We do have a slight chance of a shower or two on Wednesday. Gusty wind around 40 miles an hour, and it will be slightly cooler. Our high in the low 80s. And then for Thursday, back to sunshine, mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Artesia General Hospital presents Spring Wellness Tips for your family. Longer days and warmer temperatures mean more time outside, and that's great for your health. Encourage outdoor play and daily movement to strengthen hearts and build healthy habits early. Protect your family from spring allergies by keeping medications on hand and limit outdoor exposure during peak pollen hours. Remember sunscreen too. Even in spring, UV rays can cause skin damage. And take advantage of the season to schedule wellness visits, vaccinations, and health screenings. A little preparation helps your family enjoy every beautiful spring day. These tips are presented by Artesia General Hospital, ready to help take care of you and your family.
What does it mean for a roofing contractor to have heart? How about braving a 24-hour road trip with a bad back and a 20-foot-long trailer through Interstate 40? You heard that right. A local business needed a new roof, but this business did not want just any roof. They desired a schoolhouse roof with red shingles. Well, we wanted to give our customers exactly what they were asking for. The only problem was that the red color of shingle they were looking for had been discontinued in our local region. But we didn't give up then. We were told by our supplier that the schoolhouse red color of shingle that we were looking for was still available in Arkansas. So we did what was expected of us and drove 24 hours, and we delivered on our promise. If you need a roofer who delivers on their promises, call Trustmark Roofing today at 575-755-7663.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Roswell Tire and Appliance will beat Home Depot prices on appliances, and they will beat discount tire prices on tires. It's not complicated. It's not difficult. Listen one more time. Roswell Tire and Appliance will beat Home Depot prices, and they will beat discount tire prices. Come into the store for all the details.
This is why the Maloney of Roswell Tire and Appliance inviting you to shop local and save.
They'll beat Home Depot prices, and they'll beat discount tire prices. 101 South Main. Call 575-213-1362 or go online at RoswellTireandAppliance.com.
What does it mean for a roofing contractor to have heart? How about braving a 24-hour road trip with a bad back and a 20-foot-long trailer through Interstate 40? You heard that right. A local business needed a new roof, but this business did not want just any roof. They desired a schoolhouse roof with red shingles. Well, we wanted to give our customers exactly what they were asking for. The only problem was that the red color of shingle they were looking for had been discontinued in our local region. But we didn't give up then. We were told by our supplier that the schoolhouse red color of shingle that we were looking for was still available in Arkansas. So we did what was expected of us and drove 24 hours, and we delivered on our promise. If you need a roofer who delivers on their promises, call Trustmark Roofing today at 575-755-7663.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Looking for a proven solution for facial wrinkles and the loss of facial firmness? At Care Valley Dental, we offer expert Botox treatment designed to soften fine lines, smooth wrinkles, and create that refreshed look that you want. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher, and as facial professionals, we are the true experts with advanced training and precision you expect. You owe it to yourself to experience why Care Valley Dental is the expert in Botox treatment.
Come see the team at Care Valley Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 575-622-4455.
Hey, Roswell, it's Ford Truck Month, and your friends at Roswell Ford are rolling out massive savings on all new Fords and 000. You heard right. During Ford Truck Month, get 0% financing for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days. Plus, Roswell Ford needs your trade today, so we are willing to overpay. We'll do whatever it takes to get you released from your car, truck, or SUV, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth. So you can upgrade to a new Ford for less, with 0% financing for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days. Roswell Ford has partnered with more aggressive lenders that will push to approve your credit with great rates and terms, even if it's less than perfect. Get on board at Roswell Ford. Upgrade to a new Ford today and get huge American-made savings with 0% financing for 60 months, 0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days during Ford Truck Month. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com.
Interest accrues from date of sale. 0 APR is $16.67 per thousand. Financed on 2025 F-150s. Subject to lender approval. Offers not combined on select vehicles.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
Trust is earned. That's why I've stuck with Straight Talk. Same price since 2009 on Verizon's 5G network. Cause shoot, anyone can make a promise. Keeping it for years, that means something.
Now plans starting at $25 a month with 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Same price claim applies only to the base monthly price of our $45 plan from October 2009 to present.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to save.
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Not sure which is your dominant hand? Just wait. You'll nail it. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Pastor Troy Smotherman's back with us from Church on the Move. Good morning, Pastor.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Doing excellent. How about yourself?
Good.
Yeah.
Doing good.
It's Easter. Sean, we were kind of talking at the beginning of the hour, and I don't know if it's just life right now or whatever, but Easter's kind of snuck up on us this year. I feel like, it shouldn't, but it just feel like it kind of. I don't know if it's just life's busy right now or what it is, but it's like, oh yeah, it's Easter week.
Yeah, I don't even see the bigger. Of course, I'm not around town a lot.
Sure,
I mean, I drive through the city. I don't even see a lot of Easter displays.
Yeah.
In a lot of stuff.
I don't know if because spring break was earlier and there's a gap between the two, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, it does feel like it's sneaking up on us this year.
To me and my staff, it felt like it came extremely fast. Like, okay, it's here. Let's go. So we have Palm Sunday, then we have Good Friday.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little 10-minute teaching on YouTube on Good Friday, and then we'll have Easter on the 5th,
Yes.
April 5th, 10 a.m. at Cielo Grande Park.
Yeah, this is, I was trying to remember, is this year 2 or year 3?
It's year 2.
Year 2, okay.
And we don't know if we're going to continue to do it.
Well, I would say it's starting to turn into a tradition here a little bit, but
I don't know. But we're going to go back out. We had I don't know how many thousands and thousands of people out there last year. And so it was fun. It was so much fun, because Easter's a celebration of the risen King, Jesus rising from the dead.
I've said this, certainly with you in the room a couple times. I get it. Christmas is, we turn it into the big holiday, and nothing wrong with that. But in terms of Christianity, Easter, we are all Christians because of this week. In Easter week.
It's the thing that separates
the events
everything.
that take place this week on Good Friday and then ultimately Easter Sunday. This is the whole kit and caboodle, the reason why Christianity is here. And without it, we are not Christians. And so it is that celebration. It is the biggest holiday as a Christian there can be. And I know we get... Yeah, and nothing wrong with the time with family and the eggs and the Easter bunnies and all. That's great because this is a very important time with family. But at the end of the day, it is the biggest celebration and the darkest of dark to the lightest of light in the course of 3 days.
I couldn't have put it any better. I mean, that is exactly the truth. The darkest of dark to the brightest of bright. I mean, you can't go from any level of darkness to the brightest light in a 3-day period ever in the history of mankind, never will happen again like that.
Absolutely.
It's just incredible. It's an incredible celebration. It's going to be incredible. The weather's going to be beautiful. It's supposed to be beautiful out in the low 70s. Last year, I came away. I looked like a tomato. I was fried. I forgot to bring a hat.
I think you can actually sit in a lawn chair and enjoy sitting in the lawn chair on this Easter Sunday.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in the 70s, nice and cool. Going to be beautiful out at 10 a.m. It should be really pretty.
Absolutely.
We're starting at 10 with special music, and we're just going to have a blast.
With less heat, might decrease baptisms a bit. Just saying, you might.
I don't know. I can't remember how many we had last year. Well, almost 200. I think.
I was about to say with
like
the weather's warm. Yeah, let's get baptized.
Yeah, we had so many baptisms. We have a bunch of people signed up today, and hey, man, you can show up and get baptized if you haven't been baptized. And I can't think of a better day.
Absolutely.
I wish I would have thought about it when I got baptized as an adult.
It is very apropos.
Yeah, I would have done it on Easter.
Yeah, on the birth of Christianity, celebrating the birth of Christianity is you're reborn, your birth, rebirth into Christ. Yeah, absolutely. It's a great idea.
It's a perfect day for it, And so we have all that set up. So we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna sing and worship and praise. I'm gonna preach some about our resurrected King, and then we're going to praise some more and celebrate some more, do baptisms. Mm-hmm. We have a massive, massive Easter egg hunt broken down into like sections for little guys.
Right,
and little older,
all kids have a chance. So if they're just first walking, then we'll have the first walking section. But if they're like fifth graders, a little older, then we'll have an area for you to Easter egg hunt and all that.
Yeah, so that everybody can even if you have a baby, you can carry their basket and they can pick up some eggs and you can put, it's just, and we bless our kids. Not only do we give them tons of candy, and man, I'm a chocolate guy. I don't know about you, but when I was a little kid and we went out trick-or-treating or we did Easter, the first thing I did was get all the chocolate out.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a freezer out there, refrigerator. We're going to keep the chocolate. So 'cause it's going to be a mess.
It does get a little sticky.
I spent hours picking up candy wrappers after that Easter was over. I spent hours and hours. And my family celebrates it on Saturday because I'm not getting home till.
I was going to say Sunday you're busy.
Yeah, until late in the evening picking up trash and putting everything up because we're going to have blow-up games and water slides and
it's a picnic carnival festival atmosphere.
It should be an incredible celebration of Jesus and having fun and like you said, family. And last year we had people bring grills out, their tents out, their canopies, and set up early.
You guys will have some snacks and things out there, but we want to encourage families. If you want to come and make a picnic out of it, please do so. Come and join us, and bring your own sack lunch or whatever you want to do here. But like I said, you guys will have plenty to eat out there too.
Yeah, we're going to serve hamburgers. Last year we did hamburgers, hot dogs. The hot dogs very few people ate, so we're just going to do hamburgers and chips and a drink, and so a water.
It's one of those things that everyone loves hot dogs, but if there's hamburgers, you're like, I want it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if there's all hot dogs, ain't nothing wrong with a hot dog.
I usually do both.
Right. It's kind of like if I'm grilling steak and I got fish, I was like, give me the steak, man,
For sure. But yeah, so we're just doing hamburgers and but man, we have the hamburgers and they're free till we run out.
Right. First come, first serve on all the stuff.
First come, first serve on that. It's free till we run out. But a lot of people they brought their grills out, set up.
Yeah.
You have to bring your own lawn chair. We'll have a few chairs out that are just set up, but a few rows just to kind of start it so everybody kind of knows how to sit.
Sure, kind of set a order to the afternoon kind of thing.
Yes.
And the beautiful thing is Cielo Grande Park's got a lot of shaded trees and a lot of areas. So you more bring your umbrellas or canopies or whatever, but you may just find a tree and just put your lawn chair up under that tree and be good to go.
Yeah,
so.
If you can get it out in front of the stage, but yeah, we bring in we hire a guy locally to bring the stage in, an LED screen, and so we're gonna have fun.
Sure.
Well, we're gonna worship, we're gonna praise, we're gonna preach God's word.
I've yet to know a Church on the Move event that wasn't done up big. That's just what you guys do at the church there, and whatever the celebration is, and by golly, for celebrating the biggest celebration of the year, we're gonna do it upright too, and in a family just. In a big way, but still the small town family gathering Mayberry feel. You know what I mean?
That's what we're hoping for. Yeah. We'll have security out there, armed security.
Yeah.
And, we'll have security all around there. And it's just we're going to have a blast.
Yeah.
And we're going to, I just think it's a celebration. And when even in the feasts of the Old Testament, they worshiped and they sacrificed and they praised and they sang, and they also heard the word, but They feasted for days and days, just hanging out with family, eating, and because God's a God of the feast, man. First thing we do when we go to heaven is we go to the marriage supper of the Lamb, a feast, and celebrate, being there. So
there's a reason why all of our gatherings around food and everything. It's just the nature of human and what brings us together.
It does.
And to be honest. What ties even cultures and things together? People from other lands and things.
It does.
You bring your food and you say, "Hey, try my food," and say, "Oh, that's lovely. Try our food." And that's food brings us together. At the end of the day, God gets that.
And He created it. It's hospitality. When you feed people, and if you see the Bible, they would offer them food and wash their feet and offer them food.
Be hosts.
They host, and hospitality is huge to God.
Right.
It's a huge thing. There's actually a gift of hospitality that some people have.
And that was it's kind of interesting. I was kind of checking out. Now, this is more Christmas than Easter, but it still kind of falls in the same category.
Celebration, Christian celebration.
I was watching some of the, and I think it was Fox or whatever, but they were doing it was the Kevin Costner one actually about the Christmas. It was a story talking. It was kind of about the birth, but he's kind of telling it from a more historical perspective where. We kind of know the story of the birth. We do the school play and we had the manger and the state, and he kind of put it in more authentic perspectives. Like the wise men, because the way in our heads we all think, like Jesus was born and like here's the manger and these wise men show up. Now, it was about 2 years later before the wise men actually.
I always preach it right.
Yeah. But we all have that image from like the school play kind of version. And so it was very interesting to talk about that. But even like the hospitality thing, like we all get the image like, oh, there was no hotel, so we put him in you don't get. Actually, that was probably a very honored place they kind of put him in, the fact that, yes, there wasn't space, but you took people in, and the fact that she was about to give birth, they wanted to give her a private place, and guess what? And they all live in caves and things down there, where they keep the cave, where they keep the animals, where they kept it was quiet, it was more private for them to do a birth. And obviously with Jewish tradition, there's ceremony to it and everything else. Is. So it allowed for that. So in reality, what we think of was besmirching him. In actuality, it was the hospitality that you speak of, saying they were trying to do everything they could to accommodate for Joseph and Mary here. Yeah,
they made room. There was no room.
As best they could. But you got to also forget, the quality of life back then was not the same as quality of life here.
I don't know if the rooms were
there wasn't a Marriott up the street.
Level,
There wasn't a Budget Inn up the road or nothing. Nothing like that.
Hey, Motel 6 is better than probably what they had.
And so, but it kind of speaks to what you're talking about there, that hospitality thing and how, and even in the birth of Jesus, that was there. It's just, we get kind of told a different version a little bit, and versus the historical.
Well, even three wise men, the Bible never says there was three. There could have been. There what most people believe there was a lot more than three. But there's not a number. There's not a number in the Bible.
My understanding is
always three because of three gifts.
Yeah,
three types of gifts. But
my understanding is they're almost like a monastery, of these
kind of
philosopher. Yes. They would study the stars. And the fact that Jesus' birth caused such a anomaly in the stars is when they said, "Hey, something's going on here.
Yeah, something's going on.
We must find out what's going on."
It was big enough that they traveled. Yeah. And we know eventually that whether it was supernatural or normal, they saw a supernatural light right over the home that he was living in when the wise men finally showed up several years later.
Gotcha.
Because it calls Jesus a child, not a baby. So he's not a baby when the wise men show up.
But it's kind of, but that's what I really found, and it's worth it. I'm sure it's on wherever Hulu or wherever you watch your stuff. It's definitely worth a watch, and it kind of for, especially if you kind of grew up in that kind of, and then you're like, if you never really took the time to kind of, all right, let's put the practicality to the story part, you know what I mean? And it's kind of neat how when it almost puts to me, it cements it a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." Okay, now it puts the practical with the biblical, if that makes sense.
Even him riding on a donkey, Mary's on a donkey.
Yeah,
he rides into Jerusalem to give his life. That's what we're set this week. He rides into Jerusalem. That's Palm Sunday. That's what we celebrate on Palm Sunday, and he rides on a donkey. He comes in to be birthed. His mother's on a donkey. Donkeys are representative of peace. And and I think it's very interesting that he comes in the world and he's about to leave the world riding on it just amazes me the detail of the Bible,
the full circle moments.
That's why the word of it's the word of God. It's so, and it's spread out over years.
Absolutely.
We're talking 33 years later, he's coming in Jerusalem riding on a donkey. I mean, it's just, and then just the prophecy.
And that's the perspective part that I think that like those kind of documentaries and things give to you. Because we get the history in the 30-minute abridged version, and he went from his birth to his death and covered 30-some years in the span of 2 hours, you know, and it's like, all right, okay, and it's like, I got a lot of questions, and now it's like, okay, now that makes sense, or this, and okay, why in this, and this is, and so that's, and Easter's that same way with the details and how this, and, and to be honest, because and this is the part that we still as humans study. It's like, because at the end of the day, you're like, why did Jesus have to go through what he had to go through? Could we have done this a different way? And then it's like, at the end of the day, no, it's not.
It's absolutely
Unfortunately, it's not. But because, I guess, I mean, and granted, I keep doing movie references, but the Passion of the Christ, there's no other movie that really portrays
not like that one.
The struggle
like that
of Jesus that went. I mean, nothing I've seen on film that could even evoke,
not even close.
Evoke the same emotion that does.
I got a preview of that movie, and I was laying on I got being about four guys. I invited
to be honest, I've seen the movie, and it's an amazing movie, and it's every person should see it. I do not need to see it again. It's like I've seen it. I do not need to sit through it again. That was enough for me to it rang home the first time.
It wore me out, man. I ended up on my knees in that movie theater, just weeping.
It's just a lot to go through.
It was powerful. I tried to show this to my daughter when she was about 10.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, maybe she can. Oh man.
Yeah.
She started crying when they started whipping him, and she couldn't. I had to finally shut it off, and she had to lay down. I mean, she was gut crying, and I understand. And I thought, okay, that's too young and for her to see this. But people need to see it,
sure,
because they need to realize. And it's not even the Bible. And the Bible says that in the Old Testament that his body was unrecognizable as a man.
Mm-hmm.
So if you saw someone up there, you couldn't tell it was a human being hanging on
beaten and bloodied and everything else. Yeah.
Ripped apart and shredded and beaten.
Probably swole up and everything else.
Oh, gosh, you can imagine the swelling in his body, the blood.
That's probably why he didn't recognize. Yeah. He's probably, his body swole up to grapefruit size and everything else from all the
beating.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the punching in the face, the crown of thorns. And so even though the Passion of Christ displayed it better than any movie I've ever seen,
it doesn't do it justice.
It still doesn't do what our sin cost Jesus, cost God to. Our sin cost that much.
And I think it's hard for humans to just fathom that there's humans capable of creating. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not stupid. I know there's bad people in the world, but I'm like, at some point, you're like, when does your own heart kick in and say, this is enough? You know what I mean? And that's where I'm like,
some people that doesn't happen.
I know,
and it's just evil. Just an evil subtle. They didn't get there.
Yeah.
They didn't get there. Just one day. The next day. It's a subtle thing of hardening your heart and hardening your heart and hardening your heart, hardening your mind, hardening your emotions.
Sure.
Where people are just cattle.
I could never fathom myself in it ever. And don't get me wrong.
Thank God you can't.
But I'm just like, at some point, I'm like, at what point am I saying, what am I doing here? You know what I mean? And it's just, I know that's just a study of humanity. But then again, they're also filling what God needed to have happen.
It had to happen.
So I'm sure God had his own moment with these individuals at that point. It's like, I have no idea.
And some of them got saved. One of the Roman soldiers
I don't know if there's a history of some of those guys, but I would imagine I'd be very curious.
There's a church
with
history of some of them.
Sure.
Like the Roman soldier when Jesus died and the sun went dark and there was an earthquake and people rose from he said, this is the Son of God. I mean, some of them, Jesus died for the ugliest parts of us, Mike. Not for the best parts, the ugliest, darkest, deepest, ugliest parts. And some of them received Jesus as Lord on that day. The thief on the cross who said, I deserve this. I deserve every bit of what I'm getting.
Sure.
He called Jesus Lord and went to heaven with him. And so it's amazing how much, that's why I love God so much.
Sure.
Because in my darkest days, he saved my life and he did it for the worst, ugliest parts of me. How can I not love someone like that?
Sure.
How can I not love Jesus? How can I not love God?
Absolutely. I almost look at, as I kind of read and study, things and it's almost like if you look at the big picture, from Adam and Eve to where we are today and all in humanity. And when we look at that time period, of Jesus here and his birth and his death, I almost look at, and this is why, we have BC and AD and we always look at time and we center, the birth of Jesus as kind of a mark in time and things like that. And I almost look at it in God's terms like that was almost a righting of the ship a little bit, whereas he created earth, he creates man, Adam and Eve, and then the apple and the snake and the things begat this and Abraham and then the kids and and all the stories of the different betrayals and the things that have happened and to be honest, if you look at religion, these are where the starts were. Muslim faith, Jewish faith, these were all the starts of these various Christianity and things. And this is where I almost look at like Jesus' time on earth was like, okay, things are getting a little out of hand. You know what I mean? With what's going on here, with what people are doing, how people are. And I feel like Jesus coming to earth was God saying it's time to fix that.
Exactly. That's what the Bible says. It says at the appointed time, he sent Jesus. At one of the darkest times, and you think about it, we think about Rome at that time and how brutal, and they were controlling most of the known world at that time.
Sure.
But you also think, go across the ocean to the Mayas, the Incas, all the blood, children sacrifices, all the human sacrifice, over to the Americas, to North America, all the brutality. You know, people try to paint most of the Native Americans like they just loved the land. And, well, they worshiped the creation, not the creator. And there was all kinds of stuff happening.
There's a reason why there was tribes and they were all warring.
They were warring, and women weren't treated well, children weren't. I mean, there was, and you think about the Orient or Africa, all the voodoo and witchcraft. I mean, the world was at its dark. We think it's dark now. It's not even close to how dark and brutal the world was. God picked the perfect time when Satan thought he'd won and darkness thought he won over mankind, when no one was serving God. The Jews weren't serving God. No one.
Sure.
And here comes Jesus. When you said from the darkest moment to the brightest light, you hit it.
Right on the head.
Right on the head.
I should have shut up there.
No. It's a great conversation.
Sure.
But a lot of people focus just on those moments around Jerusalem. But you got to think about world. You know, I'm a historian. That's one of the things I studied in college.
Yeah.
You think about the whole world from North and Central and South America.
And I'm just kind of getting more into the bigger
Europe,
picture of that.
How ugly and brutal Europe was. Witchcraft, sorcery, human sacrifice. The Vikings, the English and the Irish, they did human sacrifice. They were brutal, and it was a ugly. It don't matter what color, what race. It was a brutal, ugly, godless world, and Jesus showed up in the middle of that and died for that darkness and that ugly side. I don't even understand why people would hate Jesus. Do they hate him because he healed the sick? Do they hate him because he taught us to love God and love each other?
Absolutely.
Do they hate him because he taught us to be good to the poor? I mean, I don't understand why they hate him so much. Or do they hate him because he said there's a standard of living for human beings, sexually, family-wise? I mean, that's really why they hate him. You know? But I don't know how you hate somebody who loves you so much. I mean, Mike, I got saved going to the church to try to get my brother out of a cult. I thought because I'd never seen anybody change so dramatically, my brother Steve. And so I thought I was getting him out of this, because it was the 70s. There was cults everywhere.
Gotcha.
And I heard for the first time John 3:17 that Jesus didn't come to condemn the world, but to save it. Because all I'd ever heard all my life was God is angry. He's going to beat you down. He can't wait to. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay away from God in the church, because I'm going to be a black spot on the sidewalk, man. He's going to zap me and burn me alive. And then I heard how much he loved us. For the first time, that day that I went to get my brother out of a cult is the day that I received Jesus Christ as the Lord of my life.
Nice. So
I'm like, how do you not love someone?
You thought you were helping your brother, and it turned out your brother helped you.
Exactly.
Or God led you through him.
And Mike, I was hungover.
Sure.
I was hungover from Saturday night. I partied all night long. Hungover, smelled like a brewery, but they welcomed me into the church. You know, I didn't cause any problems. You know, obviously, I just sat in the back waiting for an opportunity to say to my brother, "Hey, this is a cult. You need to get out of here right now." But it didn't happen. I joined.
Interesting.
I joined Jesus that day.
It's
crazy thing. And I just, after that, I just committed my whole life. I wasn't never perfect at it, but like, how do I not love him? How do I not do things according to his word? He's someone who loves me that much.
And this is the beauty, and this is kind of, as we celebrate Easter and we look at life and we live the world we live in and we see all the things we go in, and at the end of the day, it's pretty easy. If you just love each other, do the right thing, be honest, the rest will work itself out. Live like is trying to be like is God. Be trying to
follow his example.
And I keep saying trying because none of us are going to come close. Yeah. We're not going to be perfect. We're going to screw up on a daily basis, and God knows that. But
He still loves us.
But it's what happens after the screw up.
Yeah.
What do you do? Do you try to make amends? Do you try to fix it? Or do you pick yourself up from it and move on? Or do you dwell on that and let that suck you down? And that's life, man. And that's really and it's hard to do it alone. And that's why we say, come join us on Sunday. Come to church family. Come, when you have those dark moments, when you have the moments when life hands you something that is starting to be a little too burdensome, that's where God says, all right, let me handle it. Come visit, come talk, come pray, come Sunday, and let's start breaking some bread and sitting down and talking, and then we'll go from there.
Exactly. You described that beautifully. The Bible calls it the law of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, love God with all your heart, soul, strength, and mind. And then when you learn to love God, he will teach you how to, the Bible says, love others as you love yourself. So a lot of people go, God, other, self. And that's not how he said it. It's God, self, others. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't give what you don't have.
Absolutely.
And so you have to, God will teach you how to love and love yourself. And then he'll teach you how to love others. And he's the only one that can teach you. There's no one else can teach you how to love the way he loves.
Exactly.
And part of loving him is saying, hey, you say this is right, it's right. You say this is wrong, it's wrong. I'm good because I know you love me. I know that's for my best interest at heart.
Sure.
He's looking out for us.
Absolutely. And that's kind of where we and this is the world we live in. And, if you understand that a lot of times from even the strife from people you trust is coming from a place of love. And that's the part we got to remember, because life is not easy. It's the hardest thing you're going to do.
Yeah.
And just when you think you got it figured out, a curveball comes and 10 more problems show up.
Man. Things happen.
That's that's where God says, hey, we do this together. We do it. We when we stumble,
He's with us.
we pick each other up. When we succeed, we pick them up by the shoulders and carry them, and that's what we do. And so. If you want to experience some of that, come to Cielo Grande Park on say. What time are you guys going to start kind of getting together?
10 a.m. the service starts.
So come for service at 10.
Yeah, so we do service 10 to about 11:15, somewhere in there. And then after that,
we'll
start
party.
Serving lunch. Yeah, we'll serve lunch. We'll open up the games.
But we would love to have you come join us for service at 10.
Yes,
and come.
Yeah, and we actually check people in for service because we don't want people just to come for the Easter egg hunt and the fun and not come to celebrate.
We want the message.
Yes,
we want. This is the biggest holiday in Christianity. Mankind at the and before we talk about eggs and chocolate bunnies, we are going to talk about the big deal that is Jesus rising from the dead 3 days after being crucified and sacrificed and
I
proving,
would never put this much effort into something that wasn't about Jesus. Never. I'm not just going to do it if it doesn't celebrate and honor Jesus, then I'm not doing it. And so that's our number one thing. So you have to get that wristband at like from 9:30 to 10. Yeah. Right in there. You have to get that band, or otherwise you and your kids cannot participate in the
egg hunt.
And we don't want to be mean about it, but we don't want to just entertain people. Right. It's about Jesus.
We want the
message.
Keep it about that. We're there to honor God and to celebrate the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
That's what we're here to do and celebrate Christianity. That being said, you're going to enjoy the service. It's going to be a fun message. It's lively, upbeat. It's a party message too. I mean, let's face it.
Celebration.
This is we go from the doom and gloom to holy cow, what just happened?
Yeah. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus, for saving our lives.
So it's going to be a fun service, and then after that, we'll break out the burgers, we'll break out the fun, the entertainment, the games, the Easter egg hunts, the music,
family
whatever
celebration.
Yeah.
There's people out there playing catch the football.
Yeah.
It's a big park. So
bring a
we
frisbee,
filled up that whole park. So
who knows? Might get maybe a flag football game going or something if you get enough players
I don't know.
going.
You have to do that in another section because it fills up.
It does fill up.
Lower section we're on.
All right, maybe
we're on that lower section right by the
maybe get a picnic
bathrooms
table
and
and do paper
playground.
football. There's a smaller area.
Yeah,
but anyway, we come out and bring, like I said, bring the family, bring the kids, bring probably leave the pets at home because there's a lot of. I know it's the park and stuff, but because there's a lot of families and we don't want dogs and cats to
and poop and and big dogs. Please Please don't bring those.
Yeah.
Please, I don't want anybody bitten. I don't want anybody.
Service animals and
wear
stuff.
good shoes because that they do a great job taking care of that park, but there's still some holes and some clumps of grass and so
those gophers out there.
Please wear good, comfortable shoes and just bring your umbrellas, bring your hat.
Yeah.
If you're going to pitch a tent, pitch it on the sides.
Yeah,
we'll show you
line of sight.
The line of sight, or you have an umbrella too big, try to sit towards the back.
Yeah,
but
those golf umbrellas.
The screens and the sound system will be enough to carry all the way through the park.
You'll be able to hear wherever you are in the park.
Yeah, it's gonna be such a celebration of Jesus and just celebrating Him by having fun and having family.
Get there about between 9:30, 9:45. Get in. That way, get your bands in. Get there. Get that way you can get a lay of the land and get parking. Find a parking spot because it's a big park and kind of spread out, and not all parking spots are the same. So you might have to park at one end of town and one end of the lot or park and walk over.
You can park east, west, north, or south on that in that place.
Yeah.
Just park.
Well, and it's a big celebration, so all the parking lots will be utilized. So it does. I tell you which one to go to, better one, but to be honest, they're all going to be full. So or going to be utilized.
Yes.
So come on out again this Sunday, Easter Sunday, and please join. If you're doing online for Good Friday, right?
Yes, that's online 10 minutes.
So if you go to the Church on the Move's website or their Facebook page, that'll be streaming live here and then on demand, obviously afterwards there, and then you can get the pastor's Good Friday message, and it's the this is the storm, the rainbows on the other side here.
That's so true. That was the storm.
Yeah,
what a storm!
And of course, join us on services on Sunday, or if you want to be a part of the Church on the Move family, they've got so many opportunities for your family to be a part. Come to church. Come to the regular Church on the Move church on Sunday. Not this Sunday, obviously, because we're all going to be out at the park. But next Sunday, come join us and for services, or come see about the children's ministry, or about many of the different opportunities. While you're at it, go have lunch or a dinner over at the Valley Cafe there. And
that's where I'm eating today.
Telling you. Now, his cordon bleu soup that he doesn't have on the menu is still my one seed, but that green chili chicken, cream of chicken soup that he's got is so good.
That's one of our big sellers.
That's a jam of mine. That's a go-to, and now this is where I get, because like 1 minute I'm like, I tried that brisket mac and cheese, that was pretty good. But I'm really into. To be honest, I just usually get a smothered burrito. Like that's my jam. Like I know there's so many different sandwiches, but I'll get not the Smotherman, but a smothered burrito.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm going to get a bun on my burger. I'm sorry, but there's a Smotherman burger. It's really good. It's wrapped in the tortilla with the green chili sauce.
I've never eaten it. I didn't even.
It's really good.
He named it that.
But it's a tortilla. It's like It's like wrapped in a tortilla,
that's right.
and it's not like a traditional burger.
Tortilla, yeah,
it's really good, but I like to hold my burger.
Gotcha.
That one's got a knife and fork in it.
Yeah, you have to eat that with a
So
knife.
mine's more the smothered burrito with
Got you. I didn't know there was two different things.
Yeah, and it's
I
big.
should know, but I eat the same things every time.
Well, and that's cool. Like
because I eat carnivore, and we have a whole carnivore menu.
Yeah, he goes. I was gonna say keto, but carnivore is it's
we have carnivore menu.
So you can order literally
non-GMO.
you can order a piece of chicken or a piece of brisket or a piece of
we have all that.
Yeah, but if you like let a chef mix it all, he'll do it all too.
Yeah, and he'll do that, and it's it's good food, man. I eat there probably it's way too convenient for me.
It's very good.
It's so good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I at least now I live on the other town, so I usually get it delivered because I'm
I don't like it as it's great delivered.
It's
but
not.
I like it.
It's
fresh.
not as good as sitting in the restaurant.
Yeah,
but
Chef Anthony, man, he does such a good job.
But
on
that beauty of that soup's great the next day, and so I literally will get that thing and I'll put it in the fridge and I'll eat it the next day, and I'm happy as a clam.
That green chili soup is
and the
phenomenal.
other soup's good too. I always get the other green. That's my jam. That's that green chili. That's the one I go to.
He's such a He's such a great chef. I mean, all the sauces, all those soups are his original creation.
Yeah,
they're all his own menu.
He's a classically trained chef that loves to cook burgers and sandwiches, and
makes his own stuff,
poppers and all that kind of stuff.
Our number one sellers are chicken fingers and the steak fingers with the people get the gravy because he makes great gravy, but the green chili gravy is phenomenal.
I've had it both ways and it's excellent. And yes, and to be honest, that's usually like, I don't know. And then I'm like, okay, do I want steak fingers or chicken? Really? And then I'm like, you know what? This might be the move. We got to go, but this might be the move.
What's the move?
Offer a half and half, like a
couple steak fingers, couple chicken fingers.
Like a mixed bag.
I think you could probably order that. He'd figure that out.
I think whatever price point he's got to put on to make it work for him.
He'd make that work.
But sometimes it's like I'm indecisive. Like I kind of want, so then be like, give me one of each or two of each or whatever it is in the order.
I want to say this too. We have, because of just the price of gas, just the price of everything. Even our food costs have gone way up. We have half orders. We have like
absolutely
a full order of French fries, but a half sandwich, a full, a half salad. So it makes it so much more cost efficient.
Sure.
But for families to come in or individuals
absolutely.
that are looking at their pocketbook but still want to eat out. Listen, we have all kinds of great.
But I would even argue this
value.
too.
We have a value menu.
Absolutely, and here's the thing: is the portions are huge. So if you got the half thing, it's like a full thing. But if you're like me and like I'm a multi-meal, like I'll take so I get the full size and I'm eating. Okay, I paid a bigger price, but I got two meals or maybe three, depending on how big it is.
Yeah,
and so I'm kind of in that mindset. But you're perfect if you're not a leftovers person. Just get the half order, get the half torta, or get the half.
Save you money.
Yeah. And it's plenty of food.
The side is full. It's just the sandwich or whatever.
Yeah.
You can get the big bowl of soup or a cup of soup. You can get a half sandwich.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get the children's chicken meal, which is 3 chicken strips.
Yeah, and then they got
instead of 5 or 4.
And then or if you're like a mac and cheese, he's not only has he got like his homemade mac, but then if you like the old school Kraft mac, if you're kind of. Because I get that.
I didn't know he got.
You could do that too. He literally on the menu. It's like, would you like Kraft mac or you want his mac?
I'm not a mac and cheese guy. But
I love a good mac.
My kids like the mac and cheese with the brisket with his barbecue.
It's a very
sauce.
good. That's a good
his
one.
Barbecue sauce is really good.
Now I'm not a buffalo chicken guy, so I'll usually get the chicken without the buffalo if I want to kind of go the chicken and mac. But also too, if you want pasta, don't forget he's got green chili chicken Alfredo. That's excellent too. And
so good. That Alfredo is so
if you're
good.
a pasta guy, he's got more than mac and cheese.
Or he could just do regular Alfredo. You don't have with slice of garlic toast, and I mean it's outstanding.
It is very good.
His cream is again all his own sauces.
Absolutely.
The jam which has the jalapeno jam on it. That's homemade.
That's really good.
I mean it's just it's good.
And I'm officially
come out
hungry.
and join us. We're open 11 to 8.
There you go.
Every night except Wednesday we close at 2.
Hey, get some food on Saturday and then bring it with you on Sunday and sit in the park and eat some of his chef food.